so long you don't remember me.
In the second elimination, it was the Eskimo Jaguars versus the Demerara Eagles, winning by 8 wickets over Roy Wilkins. In the semi-finals, it was the two undefeated teams, the defending champions Queen Sharks, doing away with the USA Guyana Panthers, and then in the second semi-final, it was the Long Island Raptors brushing aside. It was the Long Island Raptors who emerged victorious as they won by 5 wickets, and they punched their ticket into this championship finals. The Guyana, the Guyana Cup for 2026 comes down to these two teams that have been undefeated in this tournament since last week. So that gives me a moment to welcome in my two co-commentators, Lenny Achabar and Matthew. And Lenny, this promises to be a very interesting matchup, two undefeated teams.
Yes, Carl, and the big question is, as the two openers will walk to the middle, Lachman Bisram and Dominic Ricky haven't been sent in here. And we'll have to wait and see how crucial the toss will be. We've seen the toss play a major factor in the other games. And we'll have to wait and see how this turns out here. Matt?
Ready? Thank you. No, Matt. Thank you. Take one of them.
Yeah, and you heard Carolyn Ryan, the captain of the Sharks, mention at the toss that he would have batted first regardless. So perhaps a bit indifferent about how the toss went, considering they've been sent in by the Raptors. But interesting, considering we've made mention of teams wanting to chase and chasing teams being a bit more successful. But I do kind of agree with him. In a final, scoreboard pressure, we see it so many times. Even though chasing has become kind of popular, scoreboard pressure in a final, batting first, always that little bit more of maybe a pressure element attached to the team that is chasing. So can't fault Kieran Ryan for wanting to bat first in the final. Why should we doubt the man that's won 3 in a row? Yeah, so Carmichael has been given the ball. And so Carl, as expected, Carmichael and will come into both of Dominic Ricky. This is going to be a very exciting contest. Ricky so far in the series 45, 5 and 7. And Carmichael among the best, as we talked about, a complete all-rounder. And he's going to be a key factor here for the Raptors, how well they start.
Go. Keep it up. Yeah. Ricky on strike.
So we talked about teams that have played and chased. And in this tournament since last week, only one team has actually batted first and won, and it's the Queen Sharks, as they defeated USA Guyana Panthers by 4 to 6 runs. First ball. So Ricky reaches forward, just at the fence, as Jensen Carmichael starts the attack for the Long Island Raptors. Dominic Ricky, the man on strike.
Go, Bello. Go. You lead. I'll bring me down on the. Oh, man, turn it. What? Turn it.
So Ricky looking, the paddle doesn't get onto it, and he'll get off the mark. Not the shot that he had intended, but nonetheless effective. He picks up a single, and he's up and running.
The first round of the final of the battle of Dominic Ricky. Looking to sweep, getting one away for a single, and it brings Lachman Bisram, who's really been the star of the show for the Queen Sharks batting lineup. 140 runs in the tournament, is just 4 runs behind Rohit Dakshin, who we'll see later on the Raptors side. And they are both behind David Lachaya, who is currently number 1 at the top of the list.
Bisram has had some tournament with both bat and ball. And as you rightly pointed out, Matt, he has really been an effective player for the Queen Sharks, the defending champions, and has really put his hand up here to lead that team to their success so far.
Go.
And Ricky behind square will pick up the first boundary of the final. Dominic Ricky latches on to 1 and puts it away.
There's a much better execution of that sweep shot he tried to play earlier. That time got it away on the first boundary of the final in some fashion of the battle of Dominic Ricky.
So have to reload and rebowl that one. Sometimes 5 Samuels extends the arms, indicating that an unfair delivery has been sent through by Carmichael. Carmichael usually a tiny bowler, very disciplined. Left arm coming around the wickets, turned into the outside by Ricky, picks up another single. And so moves that Queen's Sharks total onwards. So that completes the first over of this championship final. Queen Sharks having been sent in. They're batting here at 8 for none. Dominic Ricky on 6. Lachlan Bitstrom just off the mark. He's on 1.
Neil Smith.
So Neil Smith has been given the ball. None for 11, none for 7, 1 for 26 is bowling performance so far. But as we saw in the semi-final, it appears that the Raptors will go with pace and will go with pace and spin from one end. And so it's Neil Smith and Carmichael getting the new ball. Yeah, we saw them really utilize pace from specifically almost entirely from one end. Maybe with the different dimensions of Paisley Pond Park. I don't know if that'll have anything to do with it, but in terms of their power play strategy, it doesn't seem as though that's changing. We've got plenty of power play caliber bowlers, Neil Smith and Carmichael, the two we've seen in action, but also Kevin Sinclair and Mario Labat are bowlers that normally would operate in power play as well. Oh, peels off the outside edge, and it doesn't matter how they come running up towards the third man area. And a couple of runs here for the Sharks off the bat of Dominic Ricky. Dominic Ricky showing some good intent so far, looking to take the fight to the bowlers. That one getting a thick edge, picks up 2.
And if you are going to take a shot, now's the time to do it during the power play, where the field restrictions are in place, only 2 outside the circle. Pulled into the outside, plays the gap, runs up towards Devindra, and so he comes around and keeps the batsman to just 1. Single to Dominic Ricky.
Yeah, you've got to love the approach by Dominic Ricky, always positive, and he loves to go straight down the ground. If the balls allow, Will Smith has given up Treen a couple of balls this round. We talked about how good he's been. Comes back into strike. Straight down the ground. Chase here, in fact, not a big chase, but probably had it not rained for 3 days last week, that would have gone away.
Yeah, still a quick outfield here. That one is punched into the ground, and so not moving as quickly over the surface. And so still yet another single to Latchman. Goes up to 2. This one hit well into the gap. 1 bounce and into the medium center. That's 4 good-looking runs to Ricky.
Lovely shot from Dominic Ricky. Pulled away into the gap, and he's looked he's looked to really go after things. Dominic Ricky, a few have flown off the edge. You saw that sweep, and then the outside edge earlier in this over, but a couple he's really nailed the sweep. The second attempt to sweep that went for 4, and then that pull. Yeah, big wrap on the pad. Not on says umpire Ramesh. And first leg by of the final takes the score up to 17 for no loss. Good start here from the Sharks.
And a confident appeal from Neil Smith. He thought he had his man trapped on the crease. And almost walking away in disgust at the decision not being honored. That only has umpire Ramis looking away and signaling the leg by. So one run added, 17 then to Queen Sharks.
So we talked about Smith in this series, none for 11, none for 7, 1 for 26. Oh, into the offside, over the head of Devendra Lachman. And good running, they come back for a couple of runs. 19 without loss at the end of 2.
So Dominic Ricky camping out on the back foot, looking to pull. Didn't time the ball as well as he would have liked, but did manage to get it up and over Lachman and straight the wicket. Picks up a couple of runs, closing out the over. 19 for none after 2. Dominic Ricky he's on 13. Lachman Bishram on 4. A reminder that this championship final is being streamed live on Facebook. And we'll provide some details in terms of where folks can find that. But in addition, there are 3 stalwarts being honored this year. In fact, 4 stalwarts being honored this year in this final. Kevin Darlington, Bishop Nagamoto, Ramcharitar, and Ray Josephs. And so 4 individuals are being honored, and this each year, the Guyana Cup tournament does honor one of the legends. Some punch away, up in on the up, into the offside and crosses the boundary cover.
That is a glorious shot from Dominic Ricky, giving a bit of width and just elegantly through the offside for 4. He's looked really in good touch today. 17 of 10, 3 fours already, and what a start this is for the Queen Sharks. Yeah, that's a little crunching blow through the offside.
And this time, just presenting the full face of the blade to Carmichael, defending back along the track.
The Sharks continue to play like a champion they've been for 3 years, holding down the Guyana Cup.
Quick delivery, punched up into the offside. And Smith is in the way. Raptors can't score.
Yeah, a couple of good comeback balls here from Carmichael. Such a very good contest here. Look at that. Eased into the offside. The running has been good. And that is why perhaps, Carl and Matt, when you bat with people that you know, Bisram and Dominic Ricky has been on top of the order. For the Sharks, it comes easier. Yeah, it takes 2 to run well between the wickets. It takes good communication and good cohesion from both the batters. And yeah, Dominic Ricky and Ashman Bisram of in the air, up and over, no one out there from Bisram. This will fetch him runs. Won't go all the way, but we'll get him a couple. So 2 more to the score, and the intent continues to be strong from the Queen Sharks.
They have to look to take advantage here in the power play overs. Already they're doing so, ball just landing in the surface and just plugging. On a different day, harder surface that might bring a couple of bounces into the boundary. Good comeback delivery from Carmichael to close out. Over number 3, 7 runs from it. It's 26 for none after 3. Ricky on 18. Last one this round on 6.
So it's on the Guyana Cup page on Facebook. Guyana Cup page on Facebook.
So to track the proceedings of the stream, you can go to the Guyana Cup page on Facebook to get the live stream of this contest between the 3-time defending champions, Queen Sharks, and the Long Island Raptors, looking to make their first mark, etch their names on that trophy for the first time. And 2026 promises to be a strong competition with 2 undefeated teams having marauded their way into this championship final. Raptors winning the toss and electing to have a ball.
So Neil Smith will continue. And Carl, when you look at Dominic Ricky in the days of the Guyana Cup, he's only one of 4 players. Good delivery at the start here. The Fourth over from Neil Smith. He's one of four players who have crossed 300 runs in the Guyana Cup Championship from 2022. The others are Akshay Humraj, 379. Dominic Ricky came into this final with 345. So he's on the tails of Akshay Humraj. Karan Sunarain, in fact, Krishna. Kiran Krishna, he's up at 318. And the fourth man is Talha Mumtaz, 308. Elite club of four.
Yeah, the 300 run club. Spearheaded by the prolific Dominic Ricky, who has been off to a blistering start here. 19 from 14 so far, including 3 boundaries. So off to a good start, looking to set the foundation here for Queen Sharks.
Yeah, good over so far from Neil Smith. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't mind. Those singles are coming. We saw first over from Neil Smith went to 10. And we talked about in 3 matches, he's only picked up 1, but he's bowled economically well.
Taking on the pad. Not out, says umpire Amish. So leg by is the call. One more added, and we talked about Neil Smith and how he has gone. He is, of course, coming off just duties. Just 2 weeks ago, he was playing in the West Indies Championship, 4-day championship in the Caribbean. Swing and a miss as Guyana took on Trinidad in that final. Trinidad and Tobago emerging victorious there, but Neil Smith had a wonderful tournament. Almost from day one of that tournament, so he has moved his trade here to his talents here to the soils of the U.S. Here he is operating at Paisley Pond Park.
Oh, taking on the pad, and Dominic Ricky falls for 20. It's 30 for 1.
And it's only a matter of time, you thought. You've seen a couple of very strong appeals from Neil Smith, having hit Dominic Ricky on the pad a few times. And that is only a matter of time before the umpire would have a long look, raise that fateful finger. Dominic Ricky has to go.
Yeah, looking to just flick one away. Dominic Ricky mentioned he had taken one on the pad earlier that was going down leg. This one, seemingly not the case. Finger went up. But it's a quick start. It's a decent one for the Sharks. And from Dominic Ricky, wants back for 20. Brings Talha Mumtaz in at number 3. And 30 for 1. We mentioned Talha Mumtaz was on near the top of that list. And it's funny enough, last season was really his first year at the Guyana Cup, and now this season, so he's been able to get his name high up on that list without playing the first few editions. Yeah, another player, Matt, who was came on with just one season, Sai Mukamara, another player who scored 232 in his first year, and I think he played for the Sharks. Yeah, not over here. And so Talha Mumtaz outstanding in 2025. Carmichael will continue. Carmichael, 2 overs, no hit, none for 15. They're batting at 30 for 1, the Sharks.
Touch in, the man posted that extra cover, came up throwing. Threw it into the surface more so than at the sticks. Raptors easily across. Lashman picks up run number 8. Takes the total up to 31 in the process. So full house here at the mecca for local cricket, Paisley Pond Park. A central point for these big tournaments.
So Talha off the mark right away with a single. Was a huge part of that 3-peat Triple Crown winning Queen Sharks lineup of last year. One of their overseas players did really well. He plays a lot of his cricket in New Jersey. He posts some pretty big numbers over in New Jersey.
Okay, why is it not charging?
Up and gone all the way. First maximum of the final. Off the blade of Blacksman of this round.
Okay, go, go. I'll fix it. I'm losing power here.
When it's charging, like the blue thing comes up.
Yeah.
There'll be like a lightning bolt kind of thing over it.
Okay, keep going.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like that. You see?
Yeah.
And Carl, you were blacked out, right?
Swept away Bishram,
now,
but straight to the man posted out there on the boundary. Looking to go again, this time into the leg side.
Okay,
But just picks up a
No,
single.
stay there for now.
Yeah, still a very good start, having lost Dominic Ricky. And this is where, guys, this game should test the middle order of both teams. We talked about the Raptors, who we have seen them play twice, not being able to expand into their middle order. 39 for one. Oh, it looks like Carmichael has struck the top of off. So that's the end of Tala Mumtaz. And the Sharks have lost their second. It's 39 for 2. Speaking of testing the middle order, Queen Sharks have lost a big wicket. Tala Mumtaz, we talked about how prolific he was over the last year and the games we've had on this edition. He has to depart. Second ball, Trinson Carmichael strikes in a big way. And just like that, after a good start, the Sharks have lost 2 in quick time.
That's a huge wicket. As sometimes had no idea about that one. Beat him all ends up and knocked the bells off. And so all he heard was the death rattle behind him. And so he has to go. He falls for one, having faced just 2 balls, as he mentioned that. And it brings Dino Chownam to the middle with Queen Sharks here batting a 39 for 2 of 2 of their top batters back in the hut.
So Dino Chowinam walks to the middle, first left-hander for the Queen's Sharks. And Carmichael continues to make an impact in the power play sessions, Carl. We saw in the previous semi-finals, he held it up pretty well. And he's accounted for the wicket of Talha Mumtaz, 39 for 2, Chowinam on strike.
And Chownam could have a good hand to play here, a powerful ball striker. And a man who, if he hangs around for a few overs and he latches on to a few, we could see balls flying out of Beasley Fun Park. And so he comes in at a crucial point for Queen Sharks with a couple of wickets having fallen. Chownam joins batsman this round, looking to restore order here for Queen Sharks.
Oh, Dino Chowinam, wasting no time. First ball, straight down the ground for 6. And what a start for Dino Chowinam.
watching Royals.
I was going to make the point that Dino Chowinam had an unbeaten 39 of 16 balls in the semi-final just now. So he's coming in with some pretty good form today, has already had a good knock with the bat, and has seemingly picked up right where he left off from that unbeaten 39 in the final, has greeted Carmichael with a 6.
Yeah, didn't need to see too many there. As the first ball that served up, he latches on, and we just mentioned that if he latches on to a few, he's a powerful ball striker, a clean ball striker, and that's example number 1. Dino Chownam on the go. So first blood drawn by Chownam, exhibit number 1. Ball flying over wide long off and out of the playing area. As the over concludes, Neil Smith will continue here to Bishram. Bishram has had a tremendous tournament thus far. And if they were to determine a MVP at the end of the first round last week, Lakshman Bishram would certainly have been in the running to have been selected as such. Had a tremendous day with bat and ball. And so he's back here for Queen Sharks. facing Neil Smith.
Yes, and Carl, you talked about the composition of the Raptors team, including, of course, the man with ball in hand, Neil Smith, who's played regional cricket, certainly for Guyana. Kevin Sinclair, international cricket for West Indies. Adrian Sukwa, who's been part of the franchise series in Guyana.
In the air. And Lakshman runs around, was in there for a long time. Lakshman and Akshay Homraj were circling, but it lands safely in the end. Batters will collect a couple.
Yeah, very positive intent from Lakshman Mishra. Choinam comes back onto strike. Some massive six, the very first ball he faced. And Carl, you got the feeling that we were looking at Suryavanshi and a big knock. Sixes out of the park. And so he comes on to strike. Will face Neil Smith.
And Chowanam looks to be in a no-nonsense mood. He's come to this final looking very serious, and we're focused. Dino Chowanam is a dangerous Dino Chowanam. A dangerous batter, packs immense power, clean ball striker. And we'll have to see how he goes here for Queen Sharks.
The ball worked into the offside, finds the gap and will run away towards the Barbados flag. And that has gone away. Second boundary for Choinam. The 50 comes up for the Sharks. They're batting a 50 for 2. Yeah, nicely done from Choinam, just squeezing it through the gap for 4. Midpoint, Dino Choinam finished that semi-final in disdainful fashion, slumming a quick 39 not out, and has started off the final in very similar fashion.
Tugged into the onside, down towards Lavan. Lavan comes off the boundary. In fact, Willow comes off the boundary, and the batters do cross for 1. And so that's the first ball off the blade of Chowanam, where he hasn't picked up a boundary. And so he pushes up to 11, and the total pushes on to 51 for 2.
Actually, 1 second. No. You're good. Go.
Lovely shot from Lakshman Bisram. Goes for 4.
The guy with the yellow hat
But Lakshman Bisram continues to pile on the runs here. 20 of 13 deliveries. Neil Smith going into the surface, and look at that, just up and over the offside to a short ball. That's brilliant from Lakshman Bisram.
Yeah, not an easy shot to play. It was hitting it on the up, and it seemed it to perfection on the way it went through the offside. Could be why he's coming up here down the leg side, and Martin Dutchin runs onto it, and we get the confirmation from umpire Amish. Couple of wides added, and so Queen Sharks looking to put the hammer down here against Neil Smith.
And 12 has come off this over, so a good one from a Sharks perspective. Still 1 ball to go. Final ball of the power play.
Some good delivery, and this year I'm not sure what he was thinking. There's no way Dino Chowanam is going to make it down to the striker's end. As the over comes to an end, the power play is concluded, and we get the signal from the umpire of the conclusion of the power play. And at the end of 6, it's 57 for 2 Queen Sharks having been inserted here by the Long Island Raptors. You're watching the 2026 Guyana Cup Championship Final.
Yo, that's so true. This Hetmaya guy played and we didn't he didn't feel a ball like over there.
Yeah,
We
like I
didn't
was
call
trying to
it,
figure out who this guy is because he hasn't batted and he hasn't bowled.
Yeah, he's wearing the yellow. He's wearing the yellow.
And I'm looking around guys on the field. I'm like,
beard
I
top?
know everybody.
Yeah, I turned it off. I turned the mic off. Hold on. Oh, it's here.
Bowler is Sinclair. Kevin Sinclair. The man gone very predictable. If they go predictable wise, Sinclair, Mario Labar.
So Kevin Sinclair has been given the ball. Comes in here 57 for 2, Carl. They're going up 9.5 runs and over. They've lost Dominic Ricky and Talha Mumtaz. But we've seen some very good batting from Lachman Bisram and Chowinam so far. Kevin Sinclair.
And Sinclair has had a tremendous game in the eliminator. Bowled very economically. And if you're looking for a man to stem the flow of runs, Kevin Sinclair usually is your man. And so the ball has been tossed to him to look to stem the flow of runs here. Serge Denai has asked for his trump card to come into the attack. And so he'll bowl here to Lachman Bisram.
And the fact is, Carl, Raptors have gone very predictable. We saw them in the semi-final using the very same template as we have seen so far. Yeah, good start from Kevin Sinclair. He's always been in the game so far.
And then, as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It worked for them, for Raptors, through the eliminators. And so here they are back with Sinclair. Swing and a miss. It's taking the inside edge. I think we'll wait for a signal. None forthcoming. So Latchman squeezes one off the square for a single. Not in full control.
Yeah, we talked about it. The semi-final template. It was Carmichael, Neil Smith, Kevin Sinclair, Mario Labon, Devendra Lashman. And so those could be, and Suresh Danai, the captain. So those could be the 6 bowlers. Definitely, you will see.
Have some combination thereof. That's pretty much all you need. They all deliver with the ball. So, as we said, Len, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And all the bowlers showed up and had a tremendous eliminator round. And a tremendous semi-final round. Latchman. In fact, Dino Chowinam respectful, very watchful for the moment. This time he's off and running. And you hear the shouts of easy one in the backdrop. Not sure how easy that was. And Chowinam looks always to be running with his handbrake up. And was moving across the surface. Got there easily in the end. Swing and a miss, and that's the end of Laxman Bisram. Was off down the track, looking to pull through the onside, beating all ends up, and the third wicket falls here for Queen Sharks.
Yeah, and Adrian Sukwa is a very tough wicket keeper. So chances are you miss one of those couple of steps down the wicket, you're gonna look back and see Bales coming off, and that's exactly the fate that Lachman Bisram has been forced to accept. Third wicket falls, a big one. The dangerous Lachman Bisram falls for 21. Kevin Sinclair picks up a wicket.
Yeah, might have gotten a bit impatient there, just off down the track to take on Kevin Sinclair and beating through the gates. And Sukwa doing the rest, just cleaning up the bails. In fact, this round didn't very much look back. He was just continuing to walk on because he knew it was a done deal. So close the shop there.
You don't have one of these cables, right? The old Apple cable.
I don't. It's cool though. I mean, I'm good here and I can just.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So yeah, don't go crazy. Just charge it in.
All right. Okay, go. Carry on.
Straight back. So Karan Sunarayan, dot ball to start.
Over.
So captain comes to the middle as the over concludes. A good one from a Long Island Raptors standpoint as they pick up the very important wicket of batsman Bisham, who has been perhaps the MVP of the tournament so far. He comes back for 21. And so the Queen Sharks middle order will be tested here this afternoon. Long Island Raptors making some inroads.
All-time most runs in the Guyana Cup.
And we talked over the years about
This is over the years.
Yeah, yeah, all year.
so all-time run scorers in the Guyana Cup is and Lynn mentioned earlier that this list is led by Akshay Homraj with 379 runs, the most prolific run getter in the Guyana Cup over the years. Dominic Ricky at 365, including his 20 from today. Kieran with 318. We saw Talabuntaz at 308. Derek Narayan at 278. Bhaskar Yatram 277. And Randall Wilson, who you'll see later on, he's on the list at number 7
Mario Laban.
with 269 runs. As Mario Laban has been given the ball finally, and so he'll come in here from the Beasley Pond end, and he'll operate to the swashbuckling Dino Chowanam, the left-hander who's batted brilliantly so far.
He's on that list of 200 also.
Chowanam is at 205 on this list, so Chowanam is number 10 on this list of all-time run scorers. It's a short one that he's just pulling into the outside, and almost a tennis-looking shot, just cutting it into the outside for a single.
Yeah, brings the captain Kieran Sionarain. He's only faced one ball so far, so much to play for. The all-important Guyana Cup 2026 final. Sharks comes again. This time a new advancement. Raptors into the final this year.
Hold away! Glorious looking shot for a boundary.
Meets the short ball with in some fashion. Does Kieran Sionarain. And we know Mario Laban has pace, has height, is never afraid to go into the surface. And maybe Kieran Sionarain, anticipating one, got onto it very quickly and found the gap for 4. Very good way to get off the mark for the captain.
And Mario Laban testing the deck. And Kieran Sionarain was all over it, saw it early, and was quickly into position and hammered it behind square or into the fine leg region for a boundary.
Yeah, lovely shot from the captain. 64 on the board.
Gets a good one, but he's played up into the offside. He's off and running. Good response from Dino Chowanam. He was off in a hurry as well. So both batters seeming to understand each other very well. He's a single easily taken in the end.
So 65. Up and over through the offside. Chase here for Tristan Carmichael. And that goes away for another boundary.
So Dino continues to look good here. And in fact, Dino inching up this list of all-time run scorers. And we'll let you know, Len, how much where he has to go to get to what position on this list. We have the list of the top 10, which we'll continue to run through. Dino today started today at number 11. Already has moved up to number 10.
Remember, he would have got the runs earlier too.
So 69 for the loss of 3. This has gone pretty good for the Sharks. We've seen 10. Couple of 4s, one off the bat of Kieran Sionarain, one off Chowanam. Couple of balls remaining. Yeah, doesn't time it well, but they'll pick up a single. Hands the strike over back to the captain. Carl, we've seen a very good over here for the Sharks. 12. In fact, 11 off the silver from Mario Lapad.
More importantly, and I'll point out that Dino Chonam seems very focused for this championship final. And when Dino is plugged in a final, you can expect big performances. And he seems to be off to a great start here.
Mm. Close out.
So that delivery will close out the over. And so over number 8 comes to a close. And so it's the Queen Sharks having been sent in. They're batting here at 70.3 with Chaunam on 18 and Karen Stunaran, the captain, on 5. You're watching the 2026 championship final of the Guyana Cup.
Also, you have you have a lot of information on the tournament. Most wicket takers you can get there. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
So we've seen 8 overs into the final. And Carl, it comes down to both teams. They haven't lost a game. They were not under pressure at all. But we will have a winner and we will have a loser. 70-3 at the end of 8. And the fact is, we'll have to wait and see how the toss plays out. Kevin Sinclair, international player, will continue.
Go. Go. Mm.
Swing, and this one's taking the edge. And it goes by Hetmeyer, I think. And so he'll pick up a single.
Yeah,
Finally.
go.
And so that will turn the strike back over to Karen Sooner, right?
And Carl and Matt, we've done the semi-final. I'm wondering where is Hetmeyer. But we saw him chase the ball just now.
So Hetmeyer is not, wasn't called upon in the semi-final.
But he didn't even feel the ball.
And was fortunate enough to not have any cricket ball go towards him in that semi-final. Outside the off stump, Sooner Ryan looking for room between backward points and short third. This time he's driving and driving well up to it off. And will scamper through for a single.
Is that a thorn ball?
Yeah, left and right combination. We've seen at every level of cricket, Carl, it does possess some bit of problem for some bowlers. But when you look at the matchup between Sinclair and Chowinam, you get the feeling that Kevin Sinclair would love a battle like that as the off spinner will come in to bowl to the left-hander.
Sinclair thinking he thought he might have had the edge there off Chow now. Just eluding Sukwa, coming down towards Hetler, who's now coming in at first slip. So Kevin Sinclair has a plan here for Chow now.
Yeah, this over's gone well. Akshay Hamraj comes around quickly, very close to the rope. Probably if this was an international game, you'd probably have a look at that.
Surprise.
Yeah, it was eerily close to the ropes. With ball in hand, with ball is back with Kevin Sinclair.
Yeah, ball turned into the onside, so that will complete another over. And so they're going over 8.2 for the time being. And after 9, Carl is 74 for the loss of 3. We'll take a quick look at the wickets fall. Dominic Ricky for 20. Lachman Bisram for 21. Tana Mumtaz for 1. Chowinam is on 20. Kiran Sinarain is on 7. And you're watching the final of the Guyana Cup. 9 overs into this final. Score is 74 for the loss of 3.
And again, a reminder that 4 legends are being honored at this 2026 edition of the Guyana Cup. Darlington Nagamutu, that's Vishal Nagamutu, Ramcharitar, and Joseph. So Kevin Darlington has plied his trade in this New York tri-state area for a number of years, representing various clubs, villages, councils. Played also in the Eastern American Cricket Association. Has been around has represented the local Guyana represented representational team in the Edamont Cup when that cup played over the years, and so Garlo will be recognized for his contribution as one of the legends. Vishal Nagamucho, he needs very little introduction.
So ball pulled away into the region of Carmichael. And Carl, you look at Mario Laban, he's been one of their overseas signing this year, man. Yeah, I would have been part of them last season as well. But always a good thing to be able to keep your overseas players. Similar situation with Talha Mumtaz and the Queen Sharks. You have overseas players that perform. It's always a good thing to keep hold of them.
Mario Laban, of course, comes out of the island of Jamaica, that played Senior Cup, what would be regional first class in Jamaica. Talented cricketer, talented bowler. And he has brought his talents here to the Long Island Raptors, and he's off to a fairly good start.
76 for the loss of 3, still going over 8 runs and over. Yeah, heading down the leg side, called a wide here from Mohammed, from umpire Ramesh. And Carl, 2 of the better umpires we see, part of the elite squad of the National League. Ramesh, who has had wealth of experience, many years in the New York City area.
Yeah.
And of course, your good friend Clive Samuels.
Yeah, Clive Samuels, based now out of Connecticut and Jamaica. Of course, Ramesh has taken his talents to Florida.
Well, they all return some point. They return back to the Guyana Cup.
Ramesh was telling me earlier he's residing now in a small town or a city, let's say, close to Orlando. And I was saying to him earlier that if he could have brought some of the sunshine, the Florida sunshine here to the tri-state for us, because it's been really cool conditions today.
Well, better than last week, in which we saw, what, 56 hours of rain? If you're counting by the hours, ball eludes, Sukwa could be a bye here. And Carl, just coming back to the determination of the cricketers last week. We talked about the cricketers were so determined to play this Guyana Cup. We were probably in a discussion, and players were even willing to play one over to get the preliminary stages out of the way.
It's a tournament of super overs.
Next one we'll have one of
It's
tosses.
very interesting. Here's Mario. One is played up towards Neil Smith, who comes in at comes around at extra cover. Deep extra cover keeps the Raptors to just 1. Mario Laban has had like a five for in this Guyana Cup over the years, 5 for 11. And of course on that list, also in this game, Serge Danai, 5 for 18. Dino Chowinam, 5 for 21. And so Chowinam showing up on multiple lists as an all-rounder of immense value.
Yeah, reminder folks, this game is being streamed live, so for those who are not here at the park, cut away. That's a lovely shot from Karan Simnarai. Will only pick up a single, and Carl, for those annoying calls that you get when you're at the ground, what's the score? You'll point them to the Guyana Cup page on Facebook, and they can pick up all the action live.
Yeah, all courtesy of our good friend. I want to say good afternoon, and really all the expert equipment brought to bring you all the happenings here from Paisley Pond Park.
Yeah, Manoj and the one-man team.
Shot.
Shot down the ground, and
Dutchman.
this one goes out to Davindra Ratram, and so he comes around, keep the Raptors to just 1. So The over will conclude with
Halfway
that
stage.
single.
Halfway stage.
And so we're now at the halfway point. 10 overs gone. It's Queen Sharks having been inserted. They're batting here at 82 for 3, with Dino showing up at 28, back on 23, and Torrance Ryan on 9.
Also, this is a good readout for all the teams how they performed in this tournament. Their win-loss ratio
this year, over the
overall.
years.
So Demerara, that means since 2020. Remember,
Since it
Demerara
started,
represents
yeah.
were the original three teams
Yeah.
and USA. So since mean when they've been in action. Remember, Sharks came in 2023, Long Island came in, so on.
Yeah.
But these are the win-loss record. Win being the first one.
So Kevin Sinclair continues. Brilliant delivery goes through to Adrian Sukwa. The action continues. We're down to the last 59 balls, Carl. 82 to 3.
And we'll talk about how economical Kevin Sinclair has been, how economical he was in the semifinals. He's picked up right where he left off. And Chownam, you can sense a bit of frustration in Chownam. Hasn't been able to latch on to anything of substance from Sinclair's bowling. And knocked him over.
There we go.
So you saw it. There goes the backflip. Kevin Sinclair has picked the bells, and so the deck rattled, and you saw it coming, Battle. Chownam was getting a bit frustrated.
Yeah, and Kevin Sinclair goes right through and pulls out his famous somersault acrobatics. And I think that's great for the Guyana Cup, because it proves that the Guyana Cup is a worthy enough tournament for Kevin Sinclair to pull out the acrobatics. I was wondering if we were going to see it. He waited until the final, so perhaps a very good show of respect to the Guyana Cup for being a worthy enough tournament to see Kevin Sinclair. But Dino played a decent hand for 23. Kevin Sinclair, too good on that occasion. 2 for 6 and 2.5 overs for Sinclair so far. 82 for 4 to Queen Sharks.
How good has Kevin Sinclair been? 2 for 6 from 2.3 overs. Economy rate of 2.4. And so Kevin Sinclair picked up right where he left off in the semifinal. And knocked over Dino Chownam. So now 82 for 4 as the new batter walks out to the middle in the form of Tamish Prasad. So he comes in here at crucial points. Sinclair bowling at 2.3 overs so far. So he still has 3 deliveries left in this, his third over.
This is where the middle going to be tested. Both teams never had the middle exposed.
Taking on the pad, and he's gone. First ball. Kevin Sinclair on a hat-trick.
Kevin Sinclair, 3 for 6 and 2.4 overs, is changing the game and pushing it back in favor of the Long Island Raptors. Gets the wicket of Dino Chownam. Tamish Prasad comes in, and first ball wrapped on the pad. Sinclair on a hat-trick, and the Sharks beginning to lose their way a bit. 82 for 5 as Kellen Carmichael walks out to a hat-trick ball.
And Tamish Prasad took a deep step back in the crease. Seemingly had all 3 sticks covered. It was a fairly easy decision for umpire Samuel. And Kevin Sinclair, what an over he's bowling here as he's trapped Tamish Prasad on the crease. 2-2.
Yeah, might have been surprised. Carl, we haven't seen an intro around the half somewhere along the line, but here is the hat-trick ball. Kevin Sinclair will come into bowl to Kells. And is Kellen Carmichael. A couple Carmichaels in this final ball. Here's the hat-trick ball. Just takes it out as Carmichael. So a hat-trick averted, but Still perhaps something to bowl for in this over for Kevin Sinclair if you can get one more dot ball. And he has, so it's a double wicket maiden. Despite no hat trick, it's still a big over for Kevin Sinclair. Double wicket maiden, 3 for 6 from his 3 overs. Brilliant stuff.
A huge over in the context of T20 of the T20 format. Not only has he managed to bowl an over with no runs being scored already at an economy rate well under 3, but picked up an all-important couple of wickets, including the all-important wicket of Dino Chowina. And so Kevin Sinclair really making his mark and making his presence felt here in this championship final.
So another bowling change here for the Raptors. The captain Suresh Danai takes the ball. And Carl, that would mean only Devendra Lachman we haven't seen yet. So very predictable bowling attack. We talked about the semi-final of a Drew Park. And that is because they seem to be using the same template because all of a sudden the bowling is not under any bit of pressure. With a couple of wickets in the bag for Sinclair in the last over.
Hit away into the onside. Actually, Homeraj comes around. Does well. Picks up, throws. Batters coming back for a second and getting home safely.
Yeah, top fielder is actually Homeraj out on the boundary. But yeah, you mentioned the, I guess, predictability of the bowling attack, but I guess it's not a bad thing at all to be predictable when the bowling lineup is as potent as the one we've seen from the Long Island Raptors.
100%. Your bowlers are your bowlers, and so you can't ask the batters to go and bowl. You have bowlers in your team that's their job.
It's one thing to expect and to see something coming, even if you can see it coming a mile away. It's a whole other thing to actually deal with it. Well, we look at actually Humraj, and he reminds us of the COVID days in 2020. Sporting one of those masks.
Meyer, we said we hadn't called his name in all of the semifinals. All of a sudden, it seems like the ball is following him around.
Yeah, we really have seen a performance from this Long Island Raptors team. And for the first time in many years, Carl, we're beginning to see a team that seems to be putting some pressure on the Sharks. 5 down, 84 on the board. Ball punched into the offside. Caron is a very keen competitor, very aggressive at times, and has led this unit pretty well, we'll have to say. So he'll have to play a very good hand here. Kellen Carmichael is his partner for the time being. Still to come, Hemendra Ramdihal, Michael Sultan, Satish Duwarka, and Augustine. Not necessarily in that order. Still got 50 balls remaining. Oh, in the air, Suresh Danai takes an easy return catch, and the 6th wicket goes down, 85 for 6.
So it's coming apart at the seams here for Queen Sharks. We thought about and we've talked about how important this bowling unit for Long Island Raptors are, and Karen Sunarayan was making the point that at the toss that only in the semi-final had a team scored more than 100 on them, and they didn't mind going in and batting first. And in fact, they're the only team that has won in this tournament this year, having batted first. And so they were inserted here. Didn't think it was a problem, but suddenly the wheels have come off here, and they're struggling here at now 85 for 6, with their top order pretty much gone, and now the middle order being exposed.
So Hemendra Ramdihal comes in here with 49 balls remaining. Danai picks up a wicket in just his first over. Caron Silverine is on 12. Toss won by Suresh Danai. And we've seen the popularity now, Carl, of chasing in T20 cricket. 85 for 6.
Yeah, Len, and most captains that we've seen over the course of these 2 days of this tournament, when you win the toss, you straight away you like to bowl. But these two teams have played the type of cricket where it doesn't seem to matter, as they have just been the strength of this tournament as the over comes to a conclusion. And one would have to say at this juncture, with now 12 overs concluded, Queen Sharks batting here at 85 for 6. All sorts of trouble here, and having to survive now 8 overs. Now, with only 4 wickets in hand, the captain is still out in the middle, so we'll have to play a captain's knock here and lead from the front. He's batting on 12 from 14 deliveries. Has a good partner in the form of Eminja Randahal. Together, I'm sure they're the conversation out there, Matt, is whether or not they can string some bit of a consolidation here for the Queen Sharks.
In the air, but lands well in front of Akshay Homraj. And yeah, I mean, Queen Sharks, they're a batting lineup that pretty much goes all the way down to 11. There's not really anybody you can look at and say can't really bat. So yeah, if they can just get a couple of overs to just regain themselves and get something going, and they still have a bit of firepower that they can target a couple of overs at the end. And again, we continue to hammer home at how successful this Raptors bowling attack has been and how impressive pretty much each and every man on this bowling attack is.
And Kevin Sinclair in his final over here, one would have to think if you're Queen Sharks, the strategy here has to be to see off Sinclair without having him wreak any additional damage. And so the Raptors content here to just defend. And even if you just
Who's the bowler?
back this over out,
Oh, Sinclair.
and then see what you can do thereafter. Still 7 overs will remain after this one. So the intent appears to be clear from Randall. Just keep Sinclair out for the moment. Looks to go big through the onside. Carmichael is in the way at the wicket. And so Randall succeeds in rotating the strike back over to Sundaram.
Yeah, 44 balls still to be bowled. Sinclair 3 for 8 so far.
So Sundaram defends into the outside. And so one delivery remaining for Sinclair, and then he can take no further part with the ball, but he has already inflicted significant damage here. Worked into the onside toward the fine leg region. They go for the long leg region. They go for one. That's all they'll get. And that will complete the spell here for Kevin Sinclair, who finishes with 4 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 8. In fact, to make that 3 for 9. As what a bowling spell we've seen from the West Indies international and Guyana national player. Tremendous performance with ball in hand, and has put the advantage.
Brigada is super soft now. Carl.
Impact's up. Impact's up.
Uh,
So Sinclair is going off. And the super sub, the impact player, comes on. It's 88 for 6 at the end of 13.
So Suresh Danai will continue. Coming to bowl to Sundaram. We've seen 13 overs so far. Sharks having lost the toss and asked to bat first. The captain out in the middle.
So worked into the outside. Actually, Homeraj comes off the fine leg, off the square leg boundary. Keeps the Raptors to 1. So if you're Queen Sharks, this is where the consolidation has to start. Only 4 wickets in hand, but the captain is out to the middle still. It's a dangerous campaigner. And Matthew made the point that the batting depth here of the Queen Sharks should be able to see them through, at least get through the 20 overs. So first order of business would be to get through 20, and then thereafter to see how many wickets you're able to preserve to get as many runs as you can through the remainder of the innings.
And Carl will try to go through some win-loss records for most of the team participating. We talked about in 2022, only 4 teams were aboard of the Guyana Cup. They were the original 4 teams. And then, of course, we saw in 2023, 2 teams came aboard, 2 additional teams. And then in 2024, another 2 teams came aboard. So Guyana Cup continues to build.
Yeah, then you're right. So this one is played up towards Homeraj at backward point. And the 4 original teams were the Demerara Eagles, Berbice Lions, the Scuba Jaguars, and the USA Guyana Panthers. It's
Majestic.
or Majestic.
Yeah.
Back then in 2022. So of those teams, the winningest of the 3, Berbice Lions with 12 wins since 2022. And the Super Jaguars 9-5. They've won 9 times, 9 games over that period. And then followed by Demerara with 7 wins, and Majestic or Panthers now, which they became in 2024 with 4 wins. In the air! Who wants some? Hetmeyer running back! And it cannot get there in the end.
Well, we may have summoned the ball to keep following Sion Hetmeyer. We mentioned that we didn't really see a whole lot of him in the semi. It's certainly very busy in the field in the final, and that one was always going to be a tough one spiraling in the air, running a long way back. It was always going to be tough.
Get up to Hetmeyer. So he can't avoid the ball suddenly.
Yeah, 92-6 at the end of 14. Sunarain on 17 and Hamidra Ramdi Hall on 2, 92-6.
And so coming back to the wins and losses, so after the original 4 in 2023, the Queen Sharks were introduced. They have won 13 games, lost 4 over that period since 2023.
About 13 coming into today, they won 1 today.
Coming into today's play, so they've won once today.
No, they've not. Yeah, they did. They won. Yeah.
To take them up to 14, and then the Long Island Raptors, who also joined the league in 2023, they had won 5. They won 5 games over the period, lost 7. So they were really playing well in this year's tournament to get to the final.
Carmichael.
And then in 2024, the Rams and the Bulls joined, and neither of those teams have won a game. And so, which is typical of the new franchises. They're 0-9, both 0-9 coming into today.
Yes, Carl, probably we'll have to put Bulls and Rams in the same group next year.
At least that would guarantee at least one winner of the 2. As Michael has been reintroduced there, so he comes in from the Rockaway Boulevard end, and so he'll operate to Ramley Hall. Him and Ramley Hall, he is on 2 for having faced 6 deliveries so far. There's Carmichael. This one is driven into the onside. And only a single. So that rotates the strike over now to Caron Skinnerine, and we're into the 15th over here, Martin. So still with 4 weeks in hand, you think there's still a good amount of resources and a good amount of deliveries remaining here for Queen Sharks to put a respectable total on the board. So taking the edge, up to Dutchy! And Dutchy dives forward in slow motion and bounces a few times before the ball hits the turf.
Yeah, sliced away to Roy Dutchin coming forward. Couldn't hold on. So a chance for the captain, Caron Sunarayan, gone begging.
Huge slow motion dive from the beast. Rohit Dutchin. This one in the air. Who wants it? Can't get to Sinclair coming in. And so score moves on by one. And so suddenly only singles on offer. Batters looking to find the boundaries, but they're hard to come by. And that speaks to the quality of the bowling attack here for Long Island Raptors. They get into the onside, into the gap, and finds the gap in the end.
Lovely shot from Caron Sunarayan. Finds the gap right in front of the England flag. Beats Neil Smith to the boundary. 32 balls left. As I mentioned, there is still a bit of time, and there is a set man out to the middle. It's the captain, Caron Sunarayan. And still a fair bit of batting to come.
Hey, Carl.
Not all hope should be lost yet for the Queen
Did you
Sharks.
use that coconut water? Can I have it? Yeah. Okay, man. Cover up.
All away from Sunarayan.
Talk this life into this cricket. Go.
It's a single 100 comes up for the Queen Sharks. So big milestone with 5 overs to go. The 100 comes up for the Queen Sharks. It's 100 for 6 after 15.
Mr. White? Oh, there's a white ball.
Okay. Well, we scored the white. Oh, no, yeah, no, it didn't.
So Mr. White delivery in the over. And so another single taken. And so that now will close out the over. And so with now 15 gone, 102 to 6 Queen Sharks batting first here against the Long Island Raptors. You're watching the 2026 Tournament Championship of the Guyana Cup, brought to you right here at Paisley Pond Park, all courtesy of the New York National League and National Cricket League, led by Ramesh Arunasalam, and of course his executive team, including Samuel Mohabir, Samuel, of course the Long Island Raptors boss. And so he would have to be happy with the position that the Raptors are in at the moment, having restricted this powerfully built Queen Sharks, the 3-time defending champions. So 102 for 6 after 15. But there's still work to be done here. 5 overs remaining, 4 wickets to try to capture. Then I will continue. Slice up and over, running towards the third man boundary. That will be 4.
Yeah, lovely slice from Ramdi Hall. And Carl, we have seen Ramdi Hall over time. He's really a fighter. And they need somebody who could carry some bit of fight here for the Raptors. And I was kind of a little surprised that he didn't bat when we saw an over from Kevin Sinclair in which he was on a hat trick. 105 on the board.
Swinging a miss, looking to go big down the ground. And Suresh Danai. And we talked about just the bowling effort here of the Long Island Raptors. From one bowler to the next, they've all supported each other well. And as pressure's built at one end, the other bowler from the other end have either picked up wickets or at least kept things very economical on a very tight leash. Swing and a miss once again as shouts of make contact from the outside. As the good bowling of Dania continues as he's just bowling back of a lane.
So 106 on the board. Carl, when you look at both of the teams, in addition to their bowling and batting departments, ball getting a bit of an inside edge, can't go nowhere. Apart from the bowling and batting, you look at the wicket keeping department, and you've got two top performers. One, of course, Adrian Sukwa, man out in the field right now. He's a very sharp wicket keeper and can bat. Then, of course, we've got Taha Mumtaz, another quality keeper. So not only the bowling and batting has really held up, they're strong overall, even the wicket keeping department.
Again, can't get the ball off the square. It's a good over this from Danai. And again, not a lot of resources left. And now Karen Sinaran goes down and will have a conversation with Aminja Ramdehal.
Well, we'll help them. I think we can help in the conversation, Carl. You've got 25 balls remaining. And Kieran is a very experienced campaigner. He knows the importance of probably the next 25 balls. Just stay there.
Tucked down the ground towards where Randy Wilson coming in at wide mid wicket, straight mid wicket. And so one short is the indication. After not going grounding at the non-striker's end, and so that will complete the over. And so at the end of 16, it's the Queen Sharks having been sent in. They're batting here at 106 for 6. In fact, 107, make that 107 for 6.
So Mario Labon has been recalled into the attack. 2 overs, no made, none for 18. He's gone for a solid 9. And he comes in here with 24 balls remaining. We've seen a very good fighting knock from Karan Sinarain. Ramdihal, we talked about how important some innings he can really bring to the table. And these partnership, Carl, of 22 between Ramdihal and Karan Sinarain have really pulled the game back a little bit from the Raptors at a time in which we saw a double strike from Kevin Sinclair. And so this 22 runs partnership between Karan Sinarain and Ramdihal has put some respectability into the Sharks' total.
Yeah, they still have some runway ahead of them. 24 balls remain. Still fair ways to go. As Mario Lamont will run up the hill towards Sunaran. Pulled into the onside. Hammered, gone for a maximum.
Yeah, and Karan Sunarayan is going to be a big man here for the rest of the way for the Queen Sharks. The captain will need to produce a big knock here. 4 more to Karan Sunarayan. Yeah, lovely shot. 27 he goes up to. Every run will count. That partnership has gone up to 26. You win 3 championships, you're a fighting team. You're a fighting team.
Goes into the onside, and you get the impression then, Matt, that this might be the over that the Queen Sharks are looking to target a particular bowler. You get the sense that Mario Lamont could be the man that they've identified here to go after.
Yeah, with the fact is, Carmichael is done, Kevin Sinclair is done, so Neil Smith has 1, Danai has 1, Laban will have 1 after this. So you get the feeling that's where the bowling is going to come from. We haven't seen Devin Johnson. A chance over the line. Cup comes in. And in the end, the fortune goes Sharks' way. They go through for one. In fact, it's a run out.
I don't even know what happened.
And so two batters ended up at the same end, and somehow neither of them were able to make their ground. Eventually, it's Ramdi Hall that's gone. But they were both headed towards the same end. Neither of them seemingly unable to make their ground at the non-strikers end, or else then there would have been safe, and there could have been a run out at the other end going the other way towards Karon's end. But in the end, Ramdi Hall is the man that has to depart. So a bizarre sequence of events. But it's 112 for 7 as Kevin Augustine walks in the middle.
Yeah, bizarre is an understatement, and you're right. At no point, even with the throw to the non-striker's end, ball did not appear to have been collected by Mario LeBron. It looked like it bounced off the shoulder, off the hand, and then onto the stumps. And so somehow it's resulted in a wicket for Long Island Raptors. And so their pressure and their good fortune continues as the seventh wicket falls and Kevin Augustine strides out to the middle.
Yeah,
Cotton Sharks batting here at batting at 112 for 7.
So Kevin Augustine, 112, 21 balls remaining. LeBron continues. Yeah, he gets a single out towards the onside. And Matt, you're right. It was sort of bizarre. You get the feeling that during the course of that run out, if there's one batter to be run out, probably it was Caron in the rain. Yeah, initially, I thought the throw had gone completely to the wrong end because both batters were headed to the non-strikers end, and still somehow nobody was home at the non-strikers end. So I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Welcome to the Guyana Cup.
Well, that big partnership of 30 between Ramdi Hall and Caron Singarain has come to an end. I'll tell you something ironic with that dismissal. Since both batters were both going to the non-strikers end, Ramdi Hall was the batter closest home, and he was the one that was given out. Yeah. So when you think about it, Ramdi Hall was the closer one to the end that the run out happened at. Caron was in the middle of the pitch in no man's land, and Ramdi Hall, the safer one of the two, the closest to home, ended up being the one that got out. Yeah, so the throw did go to the right there.
Technically.
Tugged into the onside for another single as Smith comes in the deep. Keeps the batters to just one. And so the Long Island Raptors continue with their vice-like grip on proceedings here as another over concludes. 17 now gone. It's 115 for 7 with Caron Cedar Ryan on 30. And Kevin Augustine, the new man, he's on 1. We're watching the 2026 Guyana Cup Tournament Final.
Yes, Carl, 8 teams got to the starting line last Saturday. And it all comes down to the final two, the Raptors and the Sharks.
What is a
6 teams made it out.
It's a kind of dinosaur.
Yeah. It's a real animal or it's a myth?
It's a real animal. It was a real animal. I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah, so 115 to 7, the Sharks. Yeah, they take on the Raptors, Carl.
Yeah. And we were just having a conversation about what is a raptor. I'm sure the Long Island Raptors will say, look around. And 11 of us looking to go with the scoop. And being admonished on the outside. And look, hey, play conventional cricket here, son. Yeah, don't do that. That's the call from the Sharks tank. Sharks camp. From the Shark Tank.
Both of them got big teeth. We're going to rip them apart.
Well, to give you a definitive answer, Raptors can mean two things. You see a couple of runs here. That's very good running. Fumble by actually Humraj helped. But it could mean two things. It could mean a dinosaur, which obviously no longer exists, but it could also be used to describe any sort of predatory bird. So a falcon, an eagle, a hawk. The broad term for all of those types of birds is a raptor.
Oh, so we learn something new every day. In the air. Who wants
Never
it?
in control. Oh my goodness.
And he turns, he twisted, he turned. In the end, he takes the catch. And the 8th wicket is falling here.
It seemed for a second Mario Laban was getting nowhere near that one. But the ball seemingly didn't travel at all, just went straight up in the air, allowed him, had enough time, he went a long way up to readjust himself. And Mario Laban, safe hands, big hands, gets the wicket. Suresh Danai, 2 for 14, brings the end of Karan Sunarayan, 32 from him, the highest score we've seen so far. He comes back to an applause from his team. He's tried his best, he's worked hard for that 32, trying to get his side to somewhat of a competitive total.
And rightly so, deserving applause for Sunarayan as he played a captain's hand and trying to steer his team towards a good total. Still overs remaining here, 2.3.
So the Warka comes to the middle, into the onside. Neil Smith comes around, and Carl, we come down to 14 balls remaining. Augustine and Satish the work out in the middle. The Sharks, they take on the Raptors here in the final, who will walk away with the 2026 championship. It's interesting. Because if we are to interpret these team names literally, could be a couple more here. Throw comes in, would have been gone. Instead, it'll be 3. Akshay Humraj firing one in. He's a gun fielder, and if that hit, would have been curtains for another Queen Shark batter. Well, the closest the ball from the throw from Akshay Humraj got to something was the umpire. But yeah, going back to my point, the Sharks, of course, live underwater, and the Raptors are high in the air.
Yeah.
So bowled him. So Suresh Danai picks up another wicket, and the Sharks lose their 9th. He's gone straight through Dwarka, 3 for 18 off his 4 overs. Suresh Danai, as the Raptors look to wrap things up here for the Queen Sharks.
Yeah, poles everywhere as the stumps have been destroyed. Middle stump has been uprooted. And so the worker walks, and that restricts Queen Sharks 121 for 8. So the tremendous bowling that we've seen from the Long Island Raptors all tournament long continues here, even in the championship final. And they look to be on course to restricting Queen Sharks to a manageable total.
So Michael Sultan comes to the middle. He comes in here with a couple of overs remaining. Neil Smith has been given the ball, so he will bowl the 19th. And still an over perhaps from Mario Laban. Carl will seal the deal here for the Raptors.
Yeah, last pair out in the middle. And so, question again, first order of business for Queen Sharks is to bat out all 20 overs. Taken on the pad. And they scamper through for a leg by. In fact, inside edge onto the pad, so hence the reason for the stifled appeal.
Yeah, we've seen another strong bowling performance from the Raptors. As Matt mentioned, high in the air today, Carl. 122 for 9. They played a very good game at Drew Park hours ago. And here they are into the all-important final, doing well.
Hit back towards Smith. He can't hold on. So Sultan looking to get off the mark.
Matt, speaking of the of the animals that has been represented by the teams, the 8 teams. In preparation for the final, I was just Carl just looking through how many people how many people per year these animals they kill. For example, the sharks, the jaguars, the lion. Oh, has it carried? Don't think so. Yeah, and they say mosquitoes kills about 400,000 people per year. Now, when it comes down to sharks, how many people die by shark? One or two per year. Serious?
Yep, look it
I've
up.
never heard a team in any sport named the Mosquitoes.
That's about 10
Couple
million.
more actually. Homraj had another shy. Could have been another run out and that one hit.
It sounds like we should have a team called the Mosquitoes, though.
They would be the deadliest of them all. Yeah, the Lions, maybe 50 or 55
All
deaths
eight
per
teams,
year.
all 8 teams are named after him.
Yeah. The Sharks, one or two per year. Get bitten by a shark.
Mm.
So, LeBron will go for one. LeBron comes in, push the Raptors to a single.
Matos score, I gotta go.
So that will close out the 19th over. And so with 19 gone, the Queen Sharks have been sent in. They're batting here at 125 for 9. So what we expected to be a fairly high scoring affair has really followed the trend of the day since the eliminator. The highest score we saw posted today was 131, in fact 130 by the Berbice Lions for the first eliminator. And so, 147 was posted in the first eliminator by the Demerara Eagles, which was breezed off by the Escobar Jaguars. Then after that, 130 posted by the Berbice Lions, which was also breezed off by this very Long Island Raptors. And since then, we've seen the Raptors look to press on their advantage to keep another team in that 130 and below sort of range. Mario Laban will finish up here, final over of the Queen Sharks innings. And this one is sliced away. Carmichael gives up the chase for productive runs.
Yeah, and Michael Sultan, don't look at the fact he's batting at number 11. He's someone that can bat much higher than this, and is someone that can strike a long ball as well. So with 5 deliveries left, you feel Michael Sultan and Augustine, if he gets the face, will certainly be more than capable of getting a few of those, as long as they don't lose their wicket, because this is it for the Queen Sharks.
Yeah, they'll have to look to push as close to 150 as possible. They'll be 21 runs away from there at the moment. Swing and a miss. Appeal for a catch. Not out to the call. 4 balls remain. 129 for 9. Queen Sharks, the defending champions, having been sent in here by the Long Island Raptors. Swing and a miss. And again, Sultan. And now they're going to scamper through for a bye. We'll wait. We'll get the confirmation as they take a bye.
Yeah, sloppy bit of work from the Raptors there, maybe just losing their concentration. Thinking the ball may have been dead perhaps, but a very good awareness from the Sharks. And maybe that's sometimes when you're desperate for runs, you kind of pay attention to those little things a bit more. Try and find any way possible to sneak maybe an extra run here and there.
Yeah, and everyone will count in this contest, a low scoring affair as it is. And so you gotta squeeze up every bit that you can. Mario Laban to Augustin. And he looks to go reverse, and again doesn't make contact on this occasion. Pretty determined, and good idea. The execution though wasn't there. And so only a couple of deliveries remain in the innings here for Queen Sharks. And what a bowling performance this has been for Long Island Raptors. Hard to find a flaw in their bowling and their ground fielding execution. He's going to hit back along the track. They go for one. In comes Latchman. And keeps the Raptors to just one. And so that will push the Queen Sharks total along up to 131 with one ball remaining here in the innings for Queen Sharks. And you might say, Matt, that the back of the Queen Sharks may have been broken by the 3 for 8 from Kevin Sinclair in the middle overs. He really came in and played an important hand with the ball for the Long Island Raptors. And here take off. Oh, now they'll miss the opportunity. And so now they'll.
Did he run back?
And for a bye. So
I don't think they.
No, that's
Did they
not a
cross?
buy. Why did Augustine run back?
Is that a buy?
That's not a buy. They never crossed.
So it doesn't appear that they crossed. So umpire Ramesh signaled a bye, but I don't know necessarily that they crossed. So now he calls
Why
it
did
back.
Augustine run back? He
And
was.
so the score,
Why
the
did?
score ends
Yeah.
131 for 9 after 20. So it would have behooved Sultan to run down to the non-striker's end. He didn't. And so the score ends 131 for 9 at the end of 20 overs. We'll pause and return for the chase when Long Island Raptors will need 132 to determine the champions of the Guyana Cup for 2026.
Who was it? Michelle is there? Alongside Darlington. Are they? Yeah, I see two of them over there.
So if the honorees for the Legend Awards, the Legend awardees are being requested to make your way over to the presentation area for the presentation of your award. So Kevin Darlington, Ram Charitar, Vishal Nagamutu, Ray Joseph, you're in the ground. Make your way over to the presentation area.
Vishal, right? Not mine. No, but Vishal. Mine was in Florida.
So Darlo, Ramcharitar, Joseph, Vishal, if you're in the ground, please make your way over to the presentation area to be recognized.
I mean, he ran all the way down and then ran all the way back. Ran 2 runs. No. He ran 2 runs. I got none. Augustine run 2 runs. I got 0. He was supposed to run back. That was the last ball. Last ball, yeah, you
It never makes sense to you either.
But both of them take off together, Jimmy stuff. That would be extra runs.
So the awardees, again, please make your way over to the presentation area to collect your Legend Awards, your recognition. Vishal Nagamutu, Kevin Darlington Darlow from Charitar, and Ray Joseph. I didn't see Ray here, but I believe the other three are here in the ground. So come on over and collect your awards, your recognition, right in the presentation area, which is the backdrop to where the trophies are situated here at Baisley Pond Park.
Michelle in how many years?
How much they made?
131.
So,
131.
okay, good. All right. So I was watching the stream. Remember, there's a live thing, so don't know on the savory thing. We've done well so far. But then a little discussion this. Good. I don't know you do this.
No, I just I wrote this off, and I was like, let me see what's going on.
I be taking my little camera.
You're thinking of what? What software? No,
Yeah, but that wouldn't work.
no. So this will be your person. This of course here I just started with put like
Boss, I'm good. How are you? I'm down there like I'm doing a lot from home now. They were asking us to come to the office every day, and I can't go to the office. So I'm working from home. I get off. And I don't cook. Yeah, you gotta be in the building. Yeah. Once a week I'm down there. I can't be completely at home. I try to get I'm supposed to be there 2 days a week, but I've been squeezing out as well. Anyway, I wanted to get that. And I'm close to get Eddie. What's up, Darlo? I think the thing is over here.
Ramesh. So Kevin Darlington is here. So Vishal, if you're around, Vishal Nagamutu, Ram Charitar Dala over here. So he left. So Kevin Darlington is here. So the recognition, the award of recognition is being presented to Kevin Darlington for service and excellence while representing the Guyanese people around the world. A round of applause to Kevin Darlington, please. The legendary Kevin Darlington. Congratulations, Kevin. Very well done. Congratulations and well deserved. That's Kevin Darlington. The other honorees, I believe they had to leave. Bishop Nagamutu, Ray Joseph, and Ram Charitar. So we'll. Somebody want to collect on behalf of Ram Charitar? You want to collect on behalf of Ram Charitar? Come collect it. Ram Charitar, I heard that his nephew is here, so head on over. And so he'll collect on behalf of Ram Charitar, second legend being honored by the New York National League with Guyana Cup tournament. Congratulations to the Ram Charitar family.
You're firing tomorrow? Oh. Where you at tomorrow, flight? Oh, 5. Pushing 5. Pushing 5. Oh, pushing 5. Carly, bring the ball. Already. You ready? You ready, bro? Sir, for sure? Thank you, sir. Manoj, yes, good luck, guys. Give me your number. 347. No Kenneth, man. Kenneth is out in Long Island now. Yeah. You see him? Eh? You see him? Yeah, once in a while when I see Debbie, sometimes she does. Debbie is your sister? My cousin. Yeah. All right. Let's bring this. And you can just run an audio with just a laugh? Just the laugh alone you use to run the audio, right? Yeah. I have a clean setup boy, man thing set up. To know the man just come to do this. Sinclair and Dutchin. If they get, I don't know what they can buy. Match done, and Kevin has gone. And Kevin is due. Yeah, Kevin has gone for a peer. Yeah, he's due. Kevin has gone for a peer. He's not going to be reckless with it. Let me go see this thing. Yeah, they're in for it here. Check. Both speakers on? Yeah. Let's...
Audio, check. So... So we are ready for the chase. Robert Dutchin and Kevin Sinclair out in the middle. Looks like Kevin Augustine will be the man to start here for Sharks. And Carl 132 from 120 balls. Yeah, not the most imposing ask. So ways to go here. Yeah, we've seen some big knocks from Rohit Dutchin. And you get the feeling, Carl, with Kevin Sinclair with a couple of those scores in the matches so far. You know, at some point
He's certainly due for a big one.
Rohit Upton and
It's
Kevin
due to
Sinclair.
come good here. So the question is this the day that Kevin Sinclair puts his hand up for Long Island Raptors to get a score on the board? He's the man on strike here.
There we go. Go.
Here's the first ball. Gets a good one, then he defends. And gets a sarcastic applause from his team as he has done one ball better than he did in the semifinals. He went first ball to hitting to mid off.
Yes, Carl, and you can see he recognized that. And he knows he just needed to survive one ball.
So that he has the second order of business would be at least to put one run on the board to get off that dreaded mark. Boom! And so that will be four.
Yeah, it wouldn't be long before Kevin Sinclair gets into the run manufacturing. And the ball heading down the wrong line here from Kevin Augustine, all the way for four.
Yeah, cannot go there to Sinclair. And again, too talented, too quality player to go and deliver like that to him. And so that only seeing his pupils dilate, seeing relishing the fact that it's meat and drinks, and taking full advantage, smashing it away for his first boundary of the innings.
Yeah, lovely shot from Kevin Sinclair. Good start here from the Raptors. Down the leg side. Good take from Talha Mumtaz, or else that one probably would have gone away a long way, Carl, maybe for 5 wides. 1 wide.
Yeah, really tidy work by Mumtaz behind. Had to go a long way across. And got both gloves to it. Collected it cleanly. That's the quality of Mumtaz.
Yeah, I talked about the wicket-keeping department for both teams. And you can't come to these championship games, Carl, these high-level cricket, and bring just a part-time wicket-keeper, makeshift wicket-keeper. You got to come to specialists. And both teams have done that.
Gets a good one and slices him in half. And just back of a length. And quality delivery from Augustine testing the deck.
Well, that swing, that ball started outside off. And Talha Mumtaz was taking down the leg side. Good swing from Kevin Augustine.
So adjustments being made in the field. Dominic Ricky is the one suggesting the changes in personnel on the onside.
Yeah, good delivery here from Augustine and Carl. You've got to give credit to Augustine. We saw a ball heading down the leg side, pulled away from Kevin Sinclair. Was a sort of like a gift to Sinclair. Other than that, when he's been on target, he's really been good.
Oh yeah, he's bowling a tidy length here, and so hard length is what they call this type of bowling, and so he has recognized the fact that he cannot go short to Sinclair, and has just pulled the length back just a tad. Pulled again. This time it's upstairs. Gone for a maximum. And Kevin Sinclair is on the go.
Yeah, many places you can't bowl to Kevin Sinclair, and that's one area. Can't bowl short at all. We've seen a massive 6 off the bat of Kevin Sinclair, 11 for the loss.
Yeah, and both deliveries that were the short pitch ones, he's latched on to both. One went for 4, that one went for 6. And so he had the right length. He's decided to pull the length back again and got punished. Here he is once again, running up the hill. This time pushes him backward. They take off for 1. And they'll get through as Dutchins comes through. They complete the single in the end. And so good start is for Long Island Raptors in their chase as the over concludes. So after 1, it's Raptors chasing 132 victory. They're 12 for none.
Welcome back, Max. We've missed a couple of sparkling shots from Kevin Sinclair. A couple of ducks in the tournament, but he's really come back. We've seen a couple of boundaries here as both batters are trading off their helmet, Carl, for some caps as Chowi Nam has been given the ball.
Yeah, slow bowling straight away. We know Dino's quality with the ball. And so, pace off. Queen Sharks go pace off right at the top here. Trying to dislodge one of these two.
And you talked about, I know, Carl, you were running through some lists earlier on. Dino is part of a very small elite club with bowlers who have picked up a 5 at the Guyana Cup.
Yeah, only a handful. Very short list. Actually, 6 people on the list. Dino is one. Mario Laban, you saw earlier. Dola Trump, 5 for 15. And the 9. So 3 of the 6 are playing in this final. And so all turned into the onside up to Richie at the wicket. No run. So Dino, Denai, and Mario Laban, the 3 of the 6 individuals who have taken a 5-wicket haul in the Guyana Cup over the years. Punch up and over.
Yes, guys.
And that's gone to the boundary. What a stroke from Kevin Sinclair.
And this is something we haven't really gotten to see so far in the Guyana Cup. Kevin Sinclair at his best with the bat. Couple of nods was dismissed by Wasim Haslim and Keith Eddy throughout the tournament, and you feel as though, especially with the way things have started, it's only a matter of time until Kevin Sinclair unleashes a big one. Yeah, we saw during the course of the ACS tour to Guyana, Kevin Sinclair was simply brutal on the ACS team, or the ACS contingent. Scored a lot of runs in that series.
Talks this one again, and the man is giving chase, and all he'll be doing is going to retrieve as Kevin Sinclair on the go here. He is in a hurry.
Yeah, a couple of big shots, a couple of 4s. Dino has gone for 8 in just 3 balls, and Kevin Sinclair, he's on the charge, such a quality player, and he keeps churning out runs wherever he plays.
Oh, big hit! And this time, this one is out onto the street, perhaps gone for a maximum, a golf strike from Kevin Sinclair.
When a guy can hit a ball out onto the road at Baisley Pond Park, you know it's a massive strike. And Kevin Sinclair made that look easy. Slug swept onto the road. And wow, things are already beginning to light up here for the Long Island Raptors. Yeah, you get the feeling that somewhere along the lane, cut away, and that's another boundary. Oh, if I will roll away, and it goes for another boundary. Kevin Sinclair on the charge, and that's four boundaries in the over. Yeah, this is brilliant from Sinclair. We saw the power that time, just the placement, just got it right out of reach for Kevin Augustine, and raced away to the boundary.
Oh, again he goes big. What an over this, caught in the deep and out on the road. And that's 6 more.
What an over for the Long Island Raptors. What an over for Kevin Sinclair. 35 of 12 balls. It's 36 without loss after 2. Roy Dutchin has not even faced the ball yet. But Kevin Sinclair, I just made the point. It's been a bit of a low scoring, it's definitely been a low scoring tournament for him. You felt it was only a matter of time, a big one was coming. And as we've seen in 2 overs, definitely some big shots from Kevin Sinclair. Yeah, you talked about it. You talked about Rohit Dutchin hasn't faced the ball. They're going at 18 runs and over, 36 for no loss. Kevin Sinclair is on 35.
And then a Long Island Raptor took the catch out in the lead beyond the ropes.
Yeah.
And I think the fans thought that person was in the field of play. They started to celebrate. thinking that was the back of Kevin Sinclair. To the contrary, he just walked down the wicket and tapped the bat effortlessly.
Yeah, that Raptor fielder wearing uniform took a very good catch, Carl. I'll tell you that. And here's the irony: you put him in the game, and you know the rest. So Rohit Dutchin will face the first ball. After we've seen 36 so far, Kevin is on 35.
Took a liking to Dino Chownam. Smashed him onto all parts. 24 coming off the Dino over. And Kevin Sinclair, oh my word. Worth the price of admission.
Yeah, we did a final last year, and we saw a contest between Dominic Ricky and Bhaskar Yadram. 6-6 when it was over. Karan Sinarain, given the ball, will come into both of Dutchin for the first time. His first ball.
Sinclair playing that game.
Oh wow! Oh wow! It was gonna take something extraordinary to dismiss Kevin Sinclair. You felt there it is, straight back, just a touch and short of his ground as Kevin Sinclair. Cruel way to get out, but the Queen Sharks, they don't care how it comes. They're just glad it's over.
And my word, the misfortune of Sinclair. He thought that this may have been his day the way he started. And it took some brilliance on the follow through and just managing to get hand to it and seeing the stumps disturbed behind him. And so Sinclair has to go in the cruelest of dismissals. And what have we seen over the last, between the IPL and here, we've seen some really odd dismissals by way of the hit wicket and now a brilliant bit of work by Karen Sinor.
You can see everything. What do you think, he's up? Yeah.
Think he was it?
It's rare for you to find a guy that's backing up that's actually in his crease. That's rare.
So actually, Homraj has come to the middle.
9 times out of 10 that
Carl,
happens.
is that a case of friendly fire? It was Adrian Dutchin who caused the downfall of Kevin Sinclair.
The good news for Long Island Raptors is these two saw Kevin Sinclair in the last game go without scoring. And they took charge, and again, Roy Dutchin goes first ball up and over. He's away.
Well, they've gotten rid of Kevin Sinclair, but Rohit Dutchin is still there. In fact, Rohit Dutchin has been more prolific than Kevin Sinclair. And goes to remind everybody it's been 2 overs of the Sinclair show. But second ball of the third, Rohit Dutchin, beautiful to the boundary.
So actually, Homraj comes out along with Rohit Dutchin. Yeah, good ball. Good bowling here from Karan Sinarain.
It also goes to show that you can't, as the Queen Sharks, you cannot rest on your laurels here. Thinking now that we've seen the back of Sinclair, it's going to be a walk in the park. You still have to continue to press and try to make further inroads. It won't be an easy task to dislodge the top order of these Long Island Raptors. They're a very powerfully built team, particularly the top order.
Yes, Carl. And one of the things we talked about is that both teams haven't been tested in the middle. And a couple of wickets, 1 or 2 wickets here. You never know how these games can turn out. Sharks has always been a fighting team. They haven't won 3 championships by just a casual walk in the park. They have fought for those championships.
Hit up and over. And well done to keep the ball in play.
Oh, yeah. One of the things you'll notice, once the ball goes high, it's gonna plug. This is not a very fast outfielder. Remember last weekend's weather? And so once the ball goes high, it's gonna plug. Fielders will have to give chase all the way down to the ropes.
Yeah, and probably middle of the summer that ball will probably go away for a boundary as the turf underneath will be much harder. So balls don't tend to plug as much as ball hit down the ground for no run. So good over this from a Queen Sharks perspective. They pick up the very important wicket of Kevin Sinclair in an unorthodox way, but nonetheless, we'll see the back of him. And so 3 overs completed. It's the Queen's Sharks chasing, in fact, trying to defend 131. It's 42 for 1 in reply, Long Island Raptors.
So it looks like Tamish Prasad has been given the ball, left arm spin. Will come in here, Carl, the ball to Akshay Humraj, who stands at the top of the table in terms of all-time runs, most runs at the Guyana Cup since 2022, 379.
Go.
And Akshay Humraj looked good in the semi-final earlier. Was dismissed by a great delivery from Devashrai Prasad. Here he is now with already a good start ahead of him, 42 for 1. And Matt, when I talked about 379 runs for Akshay Humraj, do remember there have only been 2 centurions at the Guyana Cup over the years. Akshay Humraj and Derek Narain.
Slide. Go, go, go.
In the air, didn't time it as well as he would have liked. And so Dominic Ricky comes around, keeps Akshay Humraj to just a couple of runs. So you get the impression though, that you see the intent on both Akshay Humraj and Martin and Rohit Dutchin, that they're going to try to take full advantage of these power play overs.
Carl, you have the highest individual scores in the tournament. Just hold that up, we can talk about it. Highest HIS.
So 2 on the dot here from Tamish Prasad. Cut away over the offside, and it will run away towards the offside boundary. Matt got away before. Yeah, lovely looking shot from Akshay Humraj. Naturally a very aggressive player himself. And it's just really no end to the attack when you're facing the Long Island Raptors.
I don't have a complete
batting lineup
that maybe I have them by
keep going
year.
at you, even if you get one, they've got the wicket of Sinclair. Still, the threat of Dutchin and Humraj lose. It's a single to hand things back to Rohit Dutchin.
Rohit Dutchin, among individuals then, that has one of the highest scores in this tournament over the years. He's pumped a magnificent 84 back in 2025. Was the highest individual score in that particular tournament.
Yeah, Derek Narain, 109 is the highest. Actually, Humraj 105 at one time.
Yeah, 2022, 105 for Akshay Humraj in 2022. That was the highest individual score. And Derek Narain, as you mentioned, has the record for the highest score in all years of this Guyana Cup.
So the 50 is up here for the Raptors. Walk it away to the offside. Can't score match. 51 for the loss of Kevin Sinclair. And so they need 81 from 97 balls. Good delivery right to the block hole from Tamish Prasad. Can't get away as Humraj. So after 4 overs, it's 51 for 1, the Raptors. helmet goes out back to the batters, and that is because it looks like Kieran Sunarain will continue. Matt first of all went to 6. Very quality stuff from Kieran Sunarain. He's really led well, led by example. We've seen some good spell from him. Batted extremely well today. And you never know in this remaining 81 runs needed from 96 balls where this game can go. For one, you've seen an exciting season for Rohit Dutchin. He's up on 6. Here is Kieran Sunarain.
Go. Go, man. Go, go. Oh, man. Sultan. No.
Sultan puts it down, and that was the opportunity perhaps that the Queen Sharks needed.
Oh, man.
It goes a begging.
Big opportunity, Rohit Dutchin slicing one into the offside, straight into the hands. It was firmly struck. But got both hands on the ball, had to have held on there, Michael Sultan. Yeah, when you're defending these 81 runs remaining, you've got to take those chances. And so Akshay Humraj comes back onto strike, 52 for 1. Kieran Sunarain inducing a shot. Then a miss, and the ball goes through the Talma Montaz, 52 for 1.
Go, man. Go, go, go.
So a game that we've seen has gone through a couple of semi-finals today. Last weekend was completely rained out, most of it.
Every time this guy, every time I see Homer face the ball like I keep notice. Oh my goodness.
Laps in the field, probably should have been a dot ball, ends up being a couple of runs. So Akshay Humraj. Yeah, should have been a dot ball. So some lapses in this over. We saw one put down by Sultan, and now the man at point. Ball eased into the offside and can't score. Still a very good over here from Kieran. And Carl, we talked about these small scores. You've got to take every chance that come, and even the half chances.
Yeah, particularly when you don't have a lot of runs on the board. Hit well, firmly up and over. Couple of bounces, and that's gone for 4.
Top shot from Akshay Humraj. Got hold of that one. And things continue to move along nicely here for the Long Island Raptors. Humraj up to 13, couple of 4s to his name.
Oh, man.
Go.
Big! All the way! Right into one of the lights. And Akshay Humraj has teed off with remarkable precision to hit that light.
The budget of the parks.
And has put himself in the way of a destruction of property charge because one of those light bulbs may be coming down. A big strike from Akshay Humraj, latched on and hammered it. And it went a long way in the distance, had people then running and scampering for cover.
So 64 for 1 at the end of 5. Akshay Humraj, Carl, we talked about highest on the table.
Noble.
So the great,
Just calm down, remember?
No, I can't entertain the fight.
the great Michael Noble making the rounds, looking to emerge from retirement.
I think we gotta find Michael Noble a team next year.
Maybe we could start the Coventry Mosquitoes as a team.
Michael Noble, the captain.
Put him as the captain, send him in. And mosquitoes make noise too. So it fit perfect. And this one is hit well. In the deep and gone for another maximum.
That went 5 maximum in innings.
Yeah, Rowan Dutchin tees off again off the back foot and just hammers it near the Barbados flag away from Dominic Rickey. Yeah, Dutchin has really been good in this year's Guyana Cup, Carl. Would you believe it? Rohit Dutchin, lowest score in the Guyana Cup this year is 44.
Yeah, he's been a beast. Asking the question. And Dutchin continues to bat on. The Queen Sharks needed that one. They asked the question over and over. Umpire Clive Samuel was not convinced.
Into the offside. Can't stop Rohit Dutchin. And it goes away for another 4. 74 for 1. Yeah, through the offside. Lovely from Dutchin. Finds the gap again. It's just been an all-out blitz from the Long Island Raptors in this chase. 10 runs off the over already with still 2 deliveries left. 53 to win from 86 balls. They are running away with things here. Smashes one away. And that is the sound of the bat alone tells the story from Roy Dutchin. All he had to do was find the gap. And that one was going to race away in no time. And that's exactly what he did. 78 for 1, 14 of the over with 1 ball left. Yeah, Matt and Carl, they don't call him a beast for nothing. It's got to be a reason. 21 years. Down the ground he goes, runs here again. Roy Dutchin will stay for 1. Dominic Rickey runs around. The power play session comes to an end. And it's a big one here for the Raptors. They're batting a 79 for 1.
After just 6 overs, folks. These guys are not playing. They're going at 13 and over. And so it looks like both Roy Dutchin and actually home runs in a hurry. Kevin Sinclair laid the groundwork. And so the top 3 here for Raptors are turning this chase into a procession as they're off and running and really making light work here of this bowling attack so far.
I'm surprised this round didn't bowl or start or bowl somewhere.
Yeah,
the damage that has been done.
They tried with they tried with Dino still once Dino didn't work out.
Yeah, he didn't bowl here.
So bowling change. Lakshman Bisram has been given the ball. And Carl and Matt still some very good bowling options, but with 79 for 1. When do they come? Michael Sultan, Hemendra Ramdi Hab. 79 for 1.
Licks are passing, boy. Every man have alligator arms. Nobody want to put their arms up. Licks.
Yeah, good delivery, good start here from Lakshman Bisram. Matt, remember him from last year, he was very good with the new ball. Yeah, given the first ball after the power play, Carl.
Yeah, full toss this time. Let's put it down the ground for a single. And so Dutchin rotates the strike, go back over to home ranch. And Queen Sharks, they need a lifeline here. He needs to see the back of one of these 2 in a hurry. In the air, who wants it? Lands in no man's land. Another single to Akshay.
Actually, 1 more run for 400, but don't say nothing before we chase it. He is 379 coming in to this.
This final?
This game or today?
Today.
Oh, we made runs in the morning?
Yeah, he made ground runs before.
30 something.
Oh, so he's over 400. So you can do the math.
So 81 for the loss of 1. This round has gone pretty well in this over so far. Played a miss. Good delivery here, man.
25?
Dutchin on 23. We talked about how good he's been.
25. Ross.
Yeah, not a good delivery here from Latchman in front from Latchman Bisram. That completes 7, and after 7 is 81 for 1.
Yeah, so he's gone for 404. So that's what he's got now.
Yeah, you can do his tally.
424.
You can do his
So actually, home runs with the 24 runs he has on the board so far. In fact, with the 20 runs he has on the board so far, has pushed into the 400 club. The only man in the 400 run club so far in this tournament, as he would have gone past 400 in the semifinal. The 25 he posted there took his tally up to 404. So that added another 20 in this final. And so he's the only man to have gone past 400 in the Guyana Cup since the inception back in 2022.
So Hamidra Ramdihal talking about the top of the table, Carl. Hamidra Ramdihal leads the way for the Guyana Cup all-time most wickets. And I think he stands at 28 or 30 wickets.
cut away. 30. Okay, go, man. Bring him in.
So 30 wickets for Ramdihal is the most wickets in the tournament over the years. Good to see him introduced.
He's bowling now.
Until now.
Yeah, sorry.
So he comes in at a crucial time here. And no better time than the president to add to his 30 wickets. Needs to get the 31 in a hurry.
2 seconds.
Bhaskar Yajam is the next to best on that list with 22 wickets, followed by Devashwar Prasad with 21. Karan Sundarine on 15.
Go in, you want to win, you gotta go in.
Yeah, 82 for 150 runs needed from 77. Rohit Dutchin, who's played so exciting this season for the Raptors.
Michael Dutchin is always with the Raptors? I think so.
So hit well into the gap, and this time fielder, Chow is posted out there, so single to Dutchin. So continues on. 49 more runs are required. 76 balls, asking rate is down to 3.9. So uncomplicated chase the rest of the way here for the Long Island Raptors. Of course, they'll have to continue to preserve wickets here. Actually, Hongraj, the tournament's leading batter over the years, the most prolific batter in tournament history. He is the man on strike as he goes down the ground for another single.
Yeah, we've seen really the best of Akshay from time to time right here at Baseball Pond Park. And he talked about 2 centurions for the Guyana Cup over time. Derek Narayan and man at the non-strikers in.
That's the end of Rohit Dutchin. And so caught at the wicket, he has been nicked off. In fact, he's bowled down. And so that's the end of Dutchin. He falls. It's now 84 for 2.
Okay, might do a little thing there. You can bring in Dutchin. I want them to lose a couple of wickets. You wanna have
So if you have misplaced a phone, in fact, Ricardo Sarju.
Oh
You
man.
have misplaced your phone. The phone, look at him. Sir Joe, it would have been a tough evening for you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Ricardo Sergeant Carl, remember doing a memorial game for his father.
Yeah, inside the cage. Couple of years they had it. Couple of years. Ricardo Sarju and the Sarju family. Um, Gone to quite a number of social events and seeing Ricardo Sarju in tow. Man who gets out on the tone.
Yeah, I've seen some cricket club games in which he's still playing. Ricardo Sarju, I think he plays for Elite or one of those club mats. Oh, his brother has played for Guyana, Rohan Sarju. 84 for 2 here. A bit of hold up. I saw Ramesh, the umpire, went all the way up to the road where the car is parked, and I wonder he's decided to change maybe the counter or something, maybe the chalk. The chalk.
Mike Grand Prix, Mato. Mike Grand Prix on the other side.
So I think we're ready. Ramsey Hall. Still a final ball remaining here. 84 for 2. New man out. Randall Wilson.
Hey, man. The kid is big out. Yeah, thank you. Anyway. I'm good.
Oh, he's the owner. He's the owner. It's a tough crowd.
Ricardo, I see you playing some games. I see one cricket club game you playing. Who's that? Elite? He captain the team. Wow.
Man said he's the captain and the president.
Yeah, final ball in this over. Randall Wilson comes to the middle. And into the offside. He straight away gets off the mark. And so after 8, it's 85 for 2.
Who Randall Wilson made 187 against that? I know it's Gateway because I see a little video on it.
It's got to be like one thing the team
Lucas.
is, yeah, the one that like Lucas, them that was tropical.
Yeah. check that for me.
Suburbia.
It's suburbia. What should be like? I was gonna say Lawson team. What should be against Lawson team?
What is Lawson team?
Lawson team is suburbia.
Oh.
That team was given away last year, the year before last. Westbury must have made like nearly 300 and change on that same team. I think they went for a double.
So Lachman Bisram
Primrose.
will continue. Carl, we talked about that big knock from Randall Wilson. Primrose felt the brunt of his blade a couple of weeks ago. And folks, if you might be wondering what is Primrose doing at the Metropolitan League, well, as you may have known, a couple of crossover happening between Metropolitan League and the New York Cricket League. So some white clothes cricket and some color clothes cricket going on there, Carl. Tell me more.
Well, we've seen like some of the leagues, and actually I think it's a good idea. And some of the leagues have
Merch.
filtered out some players, some teams. And so in order to keep leagues competitive, some of the tournaments or some of the league presidents have come together and have sort of merged the competitions while still preserving the individuality of the league itself. And so Metropolitan League and the New York Cricket League, two of the leagues that have come together to do cross competition.
So what? Like the Met League teams would play in their
So
color,
the ball
and the New York team would play in just regular white clothes.
goes out into the onside. 87 for 2.
Color clothes against color clothes in the competition. It's just now they schedule like a New York League team on the Met League schedule. Like all the Met League teams will have like
So 45 to win.
that they have to play.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying like if Villagers gotta play
Ball
Primrose,
played
right? Is Villagers playing in blue and
in the
Primrose
midst
playing
here
white,
from
or is it?
Randall
I think
Wilson.
everybody's playing in white.
Okay.
Batsman Visra. Ball punched into the offside, can't score.
Because the color of the ball is actually supposed to determine the score. Like in red ball cricket, I thought they were white, the red against the white background. The color clothes, they use the white ball because the white ball kind of stands out, or it's supposed to.
Yeah, rushing the pad. And the umpire Ramesh went to the DRS straight away. Went to the stickometer or the ultra edge. In the air. Big hit up and over. Gone for a maximum. Andy Wilson on the go.
Top shot from Randall Wilson. Slug sweeps it all the way for 6. One ball seems to go. 93 for 2. And just pushes this one up to Dominic Ricky. So ends the 9th over. It's 93 for 2. Okay, I have the wrong man on strike somewhere. So tell me what happened. Okay. So I got the wrong man on strike. Something happened in this over. Hold on before you begin to say. Yeah. So no, you had it right. Wilson hit 6. Yeah, I know, but so who did you have on strike? Okay, it says you have Randall Wilson.
Yes, it's 1-1 wide dot 6.
Oh, there's a white.
Yeah, the third ball is the white. So wide, no run. It's wide, same man on strike.
So let's do that quick. Okay, we done.
Good?
Yeah. Okay, go. 94.
94? Yeah.
Go, Matt. Shit. Homraj pulls, lands in front of the fielder, so another single goes to 95 on the board for the Long Island Raptors, would have been 94 after the end of the previous over. And Wilson back on strike is on 8. You saw a big blow from him not too long ago.
Paddled fine. They'll get a couple of runs here. They go up and down. And so Randy Wilson's back for a couple. So the man they call Willow would have been a Wingate Player of the Year in the Public Schools Athletic League, which represents the player that's identified as the most valuable, not only in terms of statistics, but also from an academic standpoint. And so Randy Wilson graced the pages of Sports Illustrated for that feat. Would have played for the John Adams team. Yes, speaking of John Adams, Carl, I know they've got their finals coming up in a week or so, in 2 weeks. But they're struggling this year, and it's Edison who's doing so well. We've seen Edison come to the floor over the last couple of years. And suddenly they're a force to be reckoned with.
Richmond Hill struggling too. Yeah, Richmond Hill near the bottom of the standings as well, alongside John Adams. So it seems as though, at least for 2026, the reign of dominance between Richmond Hill and John Adams won't be there this year.
Swing and a miss as Wilson looks to go across the line. So that event will go off right here. Was it here or did it? Right here on June 13th. June 13th, the PSAL, the Public Schools Athletic League Championship Final, will play right here at Paisley Pond Park. And that will be the afternoon of June 13th, Saturday, June 13th. So another over comes to an end. 99 the total on the board for the loss of a couple wickets here. So 33 more runs are needed by the Long Island Raptors. They're looking to get their hands on the Guyana Cup for the first time in their history. And
Only two teams have touched that trophy, yeah?
yeah, well, only Escobar Jaguars and the Queen Sharks have managed to hold that trophy over the years. And so the Long Island Raptors looking to break the streak of the Queen Sharks. And going back to the pre-tournament preview, I think Matt, you were the one who called out Long Island Raptors as perhaps the team to unseat Queen Sharks. While the rest of us try to find like a team to come and upset the apple cart. But the Raptors have really played outstanding cricket, really almost from ball one. And this one hit well again down the ground towards Long Island. Easy pickings now for Long Island Raptors. As it brings up the 100, and the 100 comes up here in the 10th over.
So we've seen a bit of a partnership beginning to form. Akshay Hamraj, top of the table in terms of runs at the Guyana Cup. Ronnie Wilson, he's on 11. He's played a big part in the process of getting to the final, and here he is again, getting opportunities to really bat at the top of the order. 101 for 2, then 831 to win from 58 balls, and we've seen a really good year for the Raptors in 2026.
Oh, 4 ball and give it a treatment. Hammered for another maximum.
Yeah, Akshay Homraj strong on that back foot. As soon as he gets the ability to just hang back and pull it away into the leg side. We saw it in the semi-final. We've seen it again here in the final. As not back down at all and will punish a delivery like that. Yeah, actually, Homraj Matt, he's such an active cricketer. He's played for minor league teams, plays league cricket, played for the US. Wow, into the onside. Ricky comes up with a catch, 107 for 3. And Akshay Homraj looking to go again, similar shot, only this time got it right in the vicinity of Dominic Ricky, ran around, took a good catch. And we talked about Akshay Homraj playing for the US. Dominic Ricky did so as well. He takes the catch, and Michael Sultan has a wicket in his first over.
Well, Akshay Homraj has definitely laid down a marker here in this championship final, having put his hand up as the most prolific batter in tournament history. And for every run he scored, he was adding to his lead at the top of the scoring table. But on this occasion, he has to go. Dominic Ricky took a very well judged catch running around, not easy by any means, and took it comfortably in the end to see the back of Akshay Homraj.
So Adrian Sukwa walks out to the middle in very familiar territory for him. We talked about how prolific the top order for the Long Island Raptors have been. Pretty much every time Adrian Sukwa comes out to bat, he finds himself in a situation similar to this, 25 to win from 56 balls. And things pretty much set up on a platter for him to just go out and finish things off. We saw it previously earlier today, and we saw it in another game. He only batted about 4 balls, I think. Dropped into the hands and out of the hands of Kevin Augustine.
Yeah, look to go reverse cut. Ball is very low and may have hurt himself there. Yeah, look to go reverse cut. Yeah, just feel on the fingers that now he's here. He's going off. Yeah, Augustine is going off.
So the substitute, Mahindra Zampa Parashram on the field.
Zampa for what? You bowl Zampa?
24 to win from 55. Sukwa off the mark with a single. New deployment Adrian Sukwa coming in pretty much as a finisher in this tournament. Normally an opening bat. We saw him just last season for the same Raptors side, would have opened the batting alongside Roy Dutch and would have done so quite well. Much different role this season. I'm not sure he will necessarily complain too much though. He hasn't had a whole lot to do, and when we saw him in the semi-final, came in, played a good hand to kind of wrap things up, and has the opportunity to do so here again.
The fact is, here's a question for you. Did Carmichael bat in this series?
No, batting hasn't gone past 5.
Has Suresh Danai batted in this now? This is the latest the batting has gone all season. Today, the semi-final and the final, they've only lost 3 wickets. Have been the most they've lost. So from number 5, that's been the limit for the Long Island Raptors. That's the latest we've seen of their batting lineup. So no Carmichael, no Devendra Lashman, some all-rounders there.
And that's only
No Hetmeyer. Some of the names, I'm sure, if the batting did fall, I'm sure you would have seen them come in maybe next.
Yeah, that only speaks to the depth and the quality of the Long Island Raptors and how they've played. In addition, they have essentially won the toss and bowled in every situation, and so they've had to chase some lower totals, and so the batting has in the top orders really held up over time.
Carl, while we're talking about low and high totals, let's look at some of the highest total in the Guyana Cup, and let's look at some of the lowest total in the Guyana Cup.
We can take a look at that then. Some of the high scorers teams that have posted over 200.
Speaking of high and low, I just caught a glimpse there of Kevin Augustine coming back on the field, and the substitute fielder for him, Mahendra Parsram, there's quite a difference there as well in terms of their physical height. Kevin Augustine, one of the perhaps the tallest guy, I think, on the Queen Sharks team, and Mahendra Parsram, maybe one of the shortest. Yeah, that's the man, Sampa.
And just coming back to teams that have posted high totals over time. Highest total in this tournament over the years, posted by the Demerara Eagles back in 2024, posted 226 versus the Rams. Panthers posted 218 versus Bulls. Lions posted 211 versus Demerara. This one punched away up into the offside, up towards Augustine.
And I know Sharks have chased 200 on one time.
Yeah, Sharks and Lions have both posted 208. Sharks against Rams, Lions against Bulls, and then Sharks also posted a 202 versus Lions. All happening back in 2024. So among the low totals, the Rams and the Bulls, of course, are the 2 lowest on the list. Bulls with 59 versus Panthers, and Rams with 46 versus Lions. And some tuck down the ground for a single.
What about the lowest?
That was the lowest. The lowest is the Rams, posting 46 versus Lions. And the second lowest was Bulls with 59 versus Panthers. 59 all out. This one tucked away behind square. And this one will go for another boundary here. And so the Long Island Raptors inch even closer to their first championship in the Guyana Cup. Now just 17 runs away.
Yeah, similar story in the semi-final. And it comes down to the likes of Wilson and Sukwa out in the middle to bring it home for the Raptors. 17 runs away.
Cheeky single, in fact, leg by it could be. No runs it is. So, single added. So, reduce the equation then to 16 more required. So, the Raptors, large and in charge. Full toss, hit down the ground towards Long On. We'll go for one. Wilson's coming back for a second. And so they'll get too easily.
Yeah, very strong batting lineup posted by the Raptors. Carl, when they were bowling and taking wickets, we talked about how strong that bowling attack is. And batting order hasn't really gone deep at all. Sukwa with another single out towards the offside. And that will complete 12. After 12, it's 119 for a loss of 3.
Okay, go. Let me see the last final score we had. We just had some one-sided.
This one hit in the air. And this time the catch is taken. Again, reverse cup by Augustine. Yeah, the height was there on this occasion, and so he takes it. And the fourth wicket falls here as Long Island Raptors falls to 118 for 4.
Yeah, so Sukwa goes, yeah, much more comfortable height for Augustine, looking to pull one off the back foot, found the fielder. And well, for the first time, this Guyana Cup in the final with 13 to win from 47 balls. We'll see Sion Hetmeyer walk out to the middle, the farthest the Long Island Raptors batting lineup has gone. Number 6, Sion Hetmeyer walks in, the older brother of the one everybody knows, Shimron Hetmeyer. 13 to win from 47 balls. Michael Sultan with his second wicket. So 13 to win. And Carl, here are some scores for you in the years of the Guyana Cup. In 2022, the chasing team needed 127. In 2023, the chasing team needed 136. In 2024, they needed 202. In 2025, they needed 93. So those are your scores.
In the final.
You're referring to the final,
Yeah.
presumably, okay? So, as Matt said, the not so famous hit team. In the air, Dominic Ricky takes another one and Hetmeyer goes. So here comes the Queen Sharks. Hetty goes without scoring.
Well, they do say that sharks can smell blood from miles away. Queen Sharks maybe feel as though they're miles off winning this game, 13 to 45, but here they are continuing to pick wickets and continuing to go deep into this Raptors batting lineup we haven't seen at all. Hetmeyer, similarly to Adrian Sukwa, targeting the same area, picking out Dominic Ritchie, similar to actually Homraj, actually. Very similar dismissals among the Raptors batters today. Another one bites the dust as Hetmeyer goes without scoring. Yeah, Devendra Lachman has come to the middle. And Carl, we didn't see Devendra bowl today, but I remember, well, yeah, in this game, but I remember it might have been sometime Courtney Ambrose conducted a fast bowling clinic out in Barbies, and a select few fast bowlers were called. Devendra Lachman was one of those players called for that Courtney Ambrose pace bowling coaching clinic.
Look like a pacer, but true, you bat like a pacer.
He's got a fair bit of height on him as well, Devendra Lachman, so
Maybe on the height.
ideal for pace bowling.
Well, Paceman has to put some runs on the board here this afternoon. Hammered into the onside. Augustine is on his bike, does well. And they go for one. They're coming back for a second. The throw comes in. And a good throw might have caught Randy Wilson napping. They get through for 2 in the end.
Yeah, Devendra Lachman, capable batter in his own right, more of an all-rounder. He gets off the mark with a couple of runs. First runs for the Guyana Cup 2026 for him.
And I'm not sure how that one did not pick the Bills. Since Pete all ends up, Vines is the confirmed call from umpire Ramesh. That closes out the over. And so at the end of the over, Long Island Raptors batting here at 122 for the loss of 5 wickets.
And Carl, we come down to the third game we've been a part of today. We saw eliminator, we saw semi-final, and we back to our old bit of assessment, maybe another 20 or 25 runs.
So here, 25 more runs there could make a lot of difference.
All 3 games.
All 3 games we've managed to make that analysis. You know, as always, you feel like you're making inroads. That being said, then, cricket doesn't necessarily play like that, because sometimes a team might say, well, if I had more runs to play with or to chase, I would probably bat a little bit different. So you never know. And so always teams just feel like they could have done a little bit better, whether in the field or whether with the bat in hand, in terms of restricting a team or putting up more runs in order to chase.
Yeah, Heminger Ramdihal comes back. And you look at this powerful squad, still missing a couple of players that we saw initially on the roster. One being Brandon Jaikaran, 400 runs not out in a game, regarded as one of the highest ever individual score in Guyana in organized competition cricket. Brian Jaikaran, 400 runs not out.
Do we know what format that game was then? 4 day, 1 day?
Multi-day. I think it was a 3-day game.
Jaikaran not here this afternoon. What?
Yeah, we talked about Carl. We also talked about a youngster in India scored 1,008 in one game.
Yeah, I thought that was fake news initially, then until I did see the verification of that info.
Yeah, 7 runs to win here. Big moment here, certainly for the Raptors. And
well, Jaikaran is not here, then his teammates or his would-be teammates have picked him up quite well, as they seem to be on course.
Yeah, ball is into the offside, and all of a sudden the Raptors are on course here. And they're 6 runs away from capturing the 2026 Guyana Cup and end what has been a long run here for the Sharks.
Yeah, the Sharks have been imperious. This time, Dina Chownam cannot get down. The Raptors cross for 1. No is the call for the second from Wilson. Ricky does the mop-up work. There's another over concludes here. In fact, or is it just yes, so the 14th has come to an end. 127 for the loss of 5 wickets. So just another 5 more runs required for the Pro Tem champs of the 2026 Guyana Cup. Champions Pro Tem.
Yes, Carl, I thought that the toss had a lot to do with the result of this game. And we saw in this tournament, especially the T10 games, winning the toss, chasing really worked. Even the T20s that we saw today, win the toss, chase, it worked.
Go.
So Lachman goes, the Vendra is gone, and it's 125 to 6.
And so the Sharks will not go away. They keep fighting here. The Sharks keep biting. And they've bitten another one. And so wicket number 6 falls as the skipper heads out to the middle. And he'll have some work to do here to cover 5 runs. Suresh Denai walks out. Still a lot of deliveries within, 5 runs to get. So the issue is not the amount of runs required, but the wickets to defend. Randy Wilson, of course, is still out in the middle. He's been there for some time, trying to shepherd his innings. It seems to be wobbling here down in the middle order. So Sultan hunting again for more scalps. Gets another. Yes is the indication or no? No is the indication.
Yeah.
From umpire Ramesh, questions being posed by Sultan.
The fact is, Carl, we haven't realized Sultan has picked up 4. 4 for 12.
Oh, my word, looking for another 5 for looking to join the list of fifers in the Guyana Cup. 6 players on the list.
Yeah, you know, Michael Sultan is a clinical wicket taker around the New York area. I think I'm not entirely sure, I think he might be the leading wicket taker overall in National League cricket, at least from what cricket clubs will tell us.
Yeah.
Outside of the Guyana Cup over the years and all formats on Saturdays and Sundays, if you combine all of that, I think Michael Sultan is number 1.
Well, he's moved up to number 4 on the list in this tournament. Had 14 wickets coming in. Was added 4 to take him up to 18, which puts him 4th behind Ramdahal, Yadram, and Devashwar Prasad. So he has steadily moved up the list. In fact, has gone past 3 people in the process with this bowling performance here in this championship final.
A little too late, perhaps. Close up.
So 15 overs have been completed here at Paisley Pond Park. 128 for the loss of 6 wickets. Another 4 runs required here for the Long Island Raptors, who are looking to etch their names on the list of championship winners in the Guyana Cup since the inception back in 2022. The inaugural season was won by the Essequibo Jaguars. Since then, it's been a procession for Queen Sharks, who won 3 years in succession, and now appears to be ceding their championship hold to the Long Island Raptors. Here is Dino Chominap coming back. And this one is punched away up into the offside. Augustine runs in quickly. Can't stop one. So now just 3 more needed.
So Randall Wilson comes back onto strike. Randall Wilson has played a good hand with this team at the top of the order. Now, nothing fancy, nothing too complicated.
Yeah, just easy pickings. Knocking it around is Randy Wilson, so he understands the assignment. These other batters have come and looked to end it quickly. Look like they're in a hurry. Pick down the ground, get up towards Posada on. Another single reduces the equation now to scores being level. So the next run will win it here for the Long Island Raptors. Scores are level. And he dabs it into the offside. No is the call. So they'll have to wait at least 1 more. '26 champions, Guyana Cup. Randy Wilson goes down the ground and onto the field comes the Raptors. They've done it once again in 2026. And Matt, if you had to look at the performance of the Long Island Raptors since last Saturday, you perhaps would say they are the best team of the competition and perhaps deserving champions.
Yeah, two undefeated teams coming into this final. So regardless, it was going to be a deserved win for whoever came out on top. And in the end, it was the Raptors flying down from great heights to the depths of the ocean to prey on the Queen Sharks this season. And it won't be four in a row. Still a three-peat. Remarkable stuff from the Sharks, but they fall short on their quest for a fourth. And it is the Long Island Raptors' inaugural final for them, an inaugural championship.
So the handshake line will take place here, and we'll prepare for the presentation ceremony, which will take place momentarily. But the news is that the Raptors have won their first Guyana Cup as they turn back the Queen Sharks, winning by 4 wickets. So we'll pause and return with the presentation ceremony momentarily.
I think they gotta do one of the best batsmen. For the final.
Final. The best bowler, best batsman. Same thing for the tournament.
Best bowler, best batsman for the tournament. MVP for the tournament. Alright.
I can get what? Where you get it? You get that XLR?
I can do anything. Well, I just come out of this box here. So press the cable thing.
Oh, no, me get, yeah, me can switch over to 2.5.
Alright. We gotta do some statistics here.
Because it is yeah. Okay, Carl, set up for the presentation.
Alright. We are David Lakshaya.
Okay, man, to pack up all this off here, the tablet. You need anything from here or you got everything?
I think I got it. Alright, bowler.
It's another year, right?
One more year upon them.
You should. You'll get better next year.
Yeah.
We got it, bro.
More stunts, more. Alright. Stunts. Oh shit! Shamir Shamir ended up with most wickets in the regular thing.
happened to the presentation? Like what?
This let's go straight over there.
Oh, okay.
ready for the presentation of awards. And for my presenters, I'm going to ask Mr. Guyana Hurley, Mr. Fleisch. Well, so and the umpires will help us with the presentations. There he is, there he is. All right, so we're just about ready.
Good to see you, man. Everything good?
All right, so we are ready for the presentation. So we're going to start with the tournament awards. The tournament awards. And so we'll start with the...
I turned that off because it's feeding back, so unless we move it over some.
So we're going to start with the best batsman of the tournament. Best Batsman Award. Tournament award does not include the final. Well, the final award is separate. So Mr. Guyana Hurley will present this from the Essequibo Jaguars, David Lachaya, 174 runs.
Yeah.
Can someone collect on behalf of Lachaya? Congratulations, sir. Very well done. One more. So then for the best bowler, out of the USA Guyana Panthers with 7 wickets, Silendra Shamir from the USA Guyana Panthers. Can someone just hold and collect on his behalf? Can someone just collect on his behalf? Nobody from the USA Guyana Panthers are associated with the team. All right, no worries. We'll keep it moving. For the tournament MVP, again, does not include the final. With 140 runs at an average of 70 and 4 wickets at an average of 11.5, 6.6 economy rate, Lachman Bisram. And so Steve Fleischman will present this. Bisram of the Queen's Sharks. What a tournament he had. Congratulations, Lachman Bisram. For the final championship final, for the best batter, and so umpire Ramesh will present this one. With 35 runs from 12 balls, including 3 sixes, 4 fours, 292 strike rate, Kevin Sinclair.
Thank you.
Extraordinary ball striking. Congratulations, Sinky. All right, now for the best bowler. For the best bowler with 3 overs, 11 dusts, 4 for 13 with a 4.33 economy rate, Michael Sultan. 4 for 13. For the most valuable player of the final, again with 35 and 3 for 9, Kevin Sinclair. 3 for 9, Kevin Sinclair. Again, congratulations, Kevin Sinclair. All right, now, what are the presentations? Yeah, just the trophies and the awards. Okay. All right, so now, if I could ask Karen Ryan first from the Queens.
A well-played team. Congrats to Samuels and the Raptors. They put together a well balanced team, and once again, congrats, guys. But to me, we didn't get a lot of runs. We didn't get. We fell short.
And about how many more runs you think it would have taken to at least unseat the Raptors, or at least made it a more competitive game down to the last over, perhaps?
We was looking at minimum 150. So
now talk about just how your team performed today. You still had some performances at the bat, even though the top order didn't fire today. What happened sort of in the middle order? Where could it have been steered a little bit differently?
We fell short in the middle because we got off to a pretty good start, but the middle we didn't capitalize. We didn't get boundaries. We wasn't rotating the strike as much as possible.
All right, then talk about just your performance.
I would like to say congrats to Sharks too. Even though we didn't win, we played hard cricket. We had some outstanding performance, standout performance, and once again, hard fight, guys.
All right, well, congratulations. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Karen Ryan. Dominic Ricky. Dino Chowenham. Heminjo Ramdehal. Stay here, Dino, because do you have to wait for a team picture as well? Killan Carmichael. Michael Sultan. Kevin Augustine. Satish Dwarka. And then we also have Mahendra Parshram. Anyone else on the
Queen Sharks, you can come forward and collect the medal. Jackman, Jamil Jackman. Bhumeshwar Narayan. And of course, quick guys in front of the stands here. In fact, maybe we got to move this over to the side. So just, there it is, Karen Sunarayan. All right, congratulations, gentlemen, a well-played tournament. And so another round of applause for the Queen Sharks, the defending champions, Queens. So runners up. All right. So if we can now have the captain of the Long Island Raptors to come forward. So first off, Suresh, first off, congratulations on winning the tournament. Talk a bit about the performance of your team this afternoon.
All right. Firstly, guys, kudos to you. We came out, we execute. Everybody did their jobs, and we enjoy the cricket.
Where did it go right? You had a good call at the toss and elected to have a bowl. Turned out to have been the right decision. You told me at the time that maybe somewhere in the range of 120 or so might have been a good total to try to restrict the team. You got a little bit 10, 11 runs more than you had targeted. Just talk about the performance of the bowling unit this afternoon and how your players backed up the Kevin Sinclair with the ball. He came in one particular over. He picked up a couple of wickets and bowled a maiden over there, which seems to have broken the back of the middle order of the Queen Sharks. Let's talk about the performance of Kevin Sinclair.
Well, Kevin Sinclair came into this
Their first championship
really hard. Myself, the manager of the team, to put together a very strong unit in order to win this championship today.
Well, congratulations on collecting your first championship. A round of applause for your captain, Suresh Denai. So you'll collect an award. In fact, before you get the trophy, you'll just collect your award. It's an
Adrian Sukwa. Kevin Sinclair. Sian Hetmeyer. Rohit Dutchin. The Beast. Trinson Carmichael. Niall Smith. Devendra Lachman. Mohit Puri. Gavin Mariah. Who else am I missing? And Irshad. Who else? And we have a couple of other awards. So if you're a member of the Long Island Raptors and you haven't got an award, you can come forward and. So Samuel Mahabir will collect. And if we can get the umpires to help us with the presentation of the trophy. Uh-oh. The bubblies are out. To the Long Island Raptors, they've won their first Guyana Cup for in 2026, the champion. And we may have to do it off to the side. All right, so just your attention for a moment while we talk with one of the team owners of the Long Island Raptors, Samuel Mahabir. First off, congratulations, Samuel. You had to show a lot of perseverance and commitment, not only to get through last weekend, but to get through this weekend to have your team play undefeated. Just talk about what it means to actually having made it to the final here today, and then just the outcome of having won the tournament overall.
Well, first off, to the Long Island Raptors, congratulations, boys, we did it. This putting together this squad that New York has been talking about for the past few weeks. It didn't happen yesterday. We started to build this Raptors team over several months. A lot of work went into the end of Guyana Cup 2025. We started working on this squad, and that's the result of what you're seeing here. Good team, but we knew that we had to come here and also play good cricket, and the fellas executed. No matter what, for all the situations throughout the tournament and to what they have achieved, and also what the Guyana Cup is all about. It's good cricket. Quality says 2027. I can't wait to see what's next.
All right, now, and if I could focus just momentarily on just to kind of plug those gaps. Kevin Sinclair is a big addition. Nell Smith is a big addition. Let's talk about the areas that you saw gaps and how you went about filling those gaps.
So Raptors is actually one of the newer teams that came into the Guyana Cup. I think we came in after the second year. We came in as a brand new team, no experience on how to handle a tournament like the Guyana Cup. We started there with a good group of guys. We assessed and we realized that we just fell short a little bit. And year after year, we have been building on that platform. And that's a result of what you're seeing here today. A lot of goes into Suresh Denai, who's the captain. He's worked closely with me over the past several months, as well as Trinson Carmichael. These guys, they have been working in the background, so kudos to them. They deserve this win, and it comes down to hard work. We put in the work, and this is the result.
Well, very deserving team owner. A round of applause for your team owner, Samuel Oliver.
Just one other thing I'd like to say, I'd also like to give a shout out and a big thank you to all of our sponsors. None of this would have been possible without them. They've been with us, they've been behind us. Every game that we play, they're calling, they're finding out what's the score, they're finding out what's the next move. So this one is also for you. Navin Construction backing and Madia T, One Movement, Vicky, and everyone else who would have been involved. Bliss Hotel for housing the boys over the tournament. So it's been a big production, and we're champions.
Yeah, it came to fruition. Well, congratulations again. And this is your team owner, the champion team owner, Samuel Mahabir. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes everything here from the presentation area. Again, thanks to our umpires, umpire Ramesh, umpire Clive Samuels, for all the work you did, not only today, but over the course of the tournament, the coordinators. Krishna, I see you there. I want to say thanks for your support always. And for my commentary team, Lenny Achambar, Matthew Achambar, Carl Bend, of course, Ramesh Aruna Salam, the president, for making this tournament happen year in, year out. And so we'll see you again back here for the 2027 tournament. Again, with the news from the presentation area is that your champions for the first time, the Long Island Raptors.